right, team, we're transitioning to flak, but tasks are still going to be on Bullfrog.
Did nobody see my poppycock post? There was no clappy claps on it.
Make sure you track your time on Fireplace. Then ping me on SmackDog.
Guys, we don't need any of those anymore. We have ClickUp.
Where do we chat?
ClickUp.
What about managing projects?
ClickUp.
Docs.
Also ClickUp.
AI.
It's all ClickUp.
Yeah, but how do we get Adam's dog to stop peeing in the office?
Not really sure about that one, but for everything else, we have ClickUp.
Cybertron's future is near. Autobots, roll out! This planet reeks of weakness. Your courage reignites my spark. We'll crowd a new load at Cybertron. Roll for freedom. A victory for all sentient beings.
Okay, so let's talk about day one. It was a little bit lackadaisical. We didn't see what we expected to see from Noxium Red Force. Day two, night and day difference. They came out explosively and performed so well. What was the transition like from day one's performance to the dominant day two performance?
이제 1일차에서는 좀 많이 아쉬웠는데 그래도 이렇게 3일차 와서 정말 폭발적인 경기력 보여주셨잖아요. 그래서 1일차와 이 3일차의 좀 경기력은 좀 어떻게 달랐는지 궁금합니다.
일단 1일차를 제가 막 어떤 대회든 간에 막 그렇게 잘하진 않은데 이제 그 1일차에 못하는 부진한 모습에 그런 모습을 보여줄 수 있는, 그러니까 보여드리는 이유가 아무래도 좀 다들 많이 긴장도 한 것도 있고 어느 정도 마음가짐 차이도 다를 때도 있고 이제 그런 마음가짐 차이를 좀 굳게 먹다 보니까 2일차 때 저희 실력이 나오고 1일차 때는 실력이라기보다는 그냥 마음가짐 차이가 좀 컸지 않나 생각을 합니다.
I think the biggest difference was our mindset because first day we were very nervous and we didn't show up our performance. So that being said, I think first day's performance wasn't overall our skill, but we just didn't show it. So we just tried it, our mindset. We just tried to reset our mindset and then try to come back here. And then I think that worked pretty well on the second day.
Without a doubt. And I think from day one to day two showed that they could truly be a dominant force. And I really hope so. You go to survival stage next. That's going to be a tall task. What's your confidence level feeling like, and do you truly think you can make it back into the finals?
좀 아쉽게 서바이벌 스테이지로 내려오긴 했지만 그래도 이 서바이벌 스테이지에서 좀 어떤 경기력을 보여주실지 어떤 좀 자신감이 있는지 궁금합니다.
일단 저희의 단점을 찾았기 때문에 그러니까 완벽하게 다 찾지 못하더라도 단점을 하나하나씩 다 찾아가고 있으니까 저희가 서바이벌 가서도 1일차 때 이제 절제 않을 거라는 보장은 없고 2일차 때 또 잘할 거라는 보장은 없는데 이제 확실하게 나날이 발전해가는 농심 레드포스가 될 거라고 장담합니다.
I think we're finding our strengths here day and day. So that being said, we are not guaranteeing like bad day one or great day two. But overall, we're trying to find our strength and then try to come back in time. So I think that in that way, we will try to grow ourselves into the finals.
Grow ourselves into the finals. And last question, just ask him, what does he want his fans to know about not only himself, but also his team going forward?
이제 본인뿐만 아니라 팀으로서 좀 이번 스테이지 들어가시면서 좀 어떤 마음가짐을 좀 가지시고 어떤 목표를 가지실지 궁금합니다.
이번에 서바이벌 갈 때 어떤 마음을 가지고 가는지.
네.
이번에 서바이벌 들어가기 직전에는 사실 저희가 연습을 해왔던 거 이제 세계대회로 오기 전에 자국 리그에서 연습을 해왔던 거를 증명하고 또 실험하고 또 이제 결과를 내기 위해서 사실 좀 서바이벌 등수가 어떻게 되던 간에 그냥 저희가 좀 연습한 게 나오게끔만 하는 걸 목표로 둘 것 같습니다.
Overall, in survival stage, we'll try to aim for showing our performance, what we have been practiced. So I think that will be a biggest task we have.
Fair enough. Well, that's Benny from Nongshim Red Force, a dominant performance in day 3. That gives me good hope going into the survival stage. They'll be one of the most dominant teams out there amongst the top. But we'll have to find out and wait and see when we get to that very stage.
Thank you very much. It's so ridiculous. We've got Alpha 7, Regnum Carrier, Falcons in the survival stage. How many teams did Max Man curse? 7, Neptura, I'm coming for you because Kalaris is back for the survival stage. Where's my coffee? I asked for it minutes ago.
The group stages had a lot of action unfold. And of course, right at the top of the tables, it was Alter Ego who swept us away, as did Fourth Thrive. So going into these, into the finals, they are our favorites to be looking out. At the start of these survival stages, though, we're going to see a few teams that maybe we wouldn't have expected to see here otherwise. Alpha 7, most notably defending, returning champions. They are going to have to fight for their tournament life here in the survival stages. Of course, we do have to say goodbye to the survival stages from Alpha Gaming. They were able to go all the way on up towards the end of the day. They started off a little bit slow, but they gained momentum and have managed to escape the, well, unfortunate situation of being in these survival stages, kicking off today. Along with them, though, will not be seen the Falcons. They are going to have to play here as well. They had a pretty shocking result here in the group stages. We expected more from them as the reigning club champions as well. They should have had a better time of it, but they couldn't quite find their footing in the group stages. Will the survival stages treat them any differently? From there on in, we saw Nongshim Red Force as well not quite make their ascendancy despite having the second best day of any team in the group stages. They didn't quite make the mark to reach that bubble, and they will not be seen in those finals directly. They'll have to fight for a spot along with everyone else, and with RCB global caliber team are not going to be in the have to go again on the survival stages. Overall, the group stages were incredibly close. From 3rd place down to 9th place, there were only 8 points in it. And that is one hell of a standings to try and fight your way through. So these survival stages, they have a promise to get naughty, to get nasty.
Well, there it is. Group stage has concluded. Day 3 is over with, and well, survival stage is coming up next. Of course, though, we've got to talk to the top dogs, Alpha 7. We got Revo here. He's always putting in the work, the MVP of Americas, and one that is looking to go back-to-back in his championship run. Revo, what's going on, man? I know today fell a little bit short, but let's at least talk about last year. You win the championship. You come in this year as the champions. What was the experience like coming back to Riyadh? How was your team feeling?
I think the experience is like the best we can. I don't know, like the best.
Yeah.
And it's a really good feeling because I love this place, I love this country, and the people from here are amazing. So yeah, is that.
Have you had a chance to explore the boulevard at all? Maybe go on the go-karts, have a little bit of fun?
Yeah, right. Already did it.
You already did it right on. Well, let's go back to America's double over second. Nearly take it from North America with Coops. You break in the top 3, though. One thing that you said during an interview with 7, I've accomplished heading into the global stage.
I think like PUBG is like that. You need to try new things. You cannot stay in the same place with the same game style, and not all the time like gonna work. But you need to try new things, global staging, everything.
Of new things, explosively, just finishing behind 4th Thrives in 2nd place. 55 point struggles are gone.
The other 4 matches was bad. You was confident today also, but don't short.
So let's talk about today. We can go. You scored on day 1. Was it a factor of different groups, different teams maybe challenge you a little bit differently than day 1? Was it maybe the pressure starting to add up? Maybe vibes were a little bit off. What happened from day 1 to day 3's performance?
I think the most different thing from day 1 to day 2 is like the teams from the other group, of course. Like have another so strong things, like a game, everything are so strong. I think that's the difference. Like all the
job gets a little bit harder. You go into the survival stage. You should be, I would say, one of the best teams going to survival stage, in my honest opinion. You know, I'm always supporting you guys from Americas. Day 1, though, you talked to 7. You said there's no pressure whatsoever. Is there any pressure added now that you have to go to survival stage and your tournament life is now at stake?
I think, of course, I have more pressure. Because you are in stage, if you don't qualify, over a lot of it, we can know how to take that.
Our region now is taken very seriously because of your team's performance. Of course, I'm going to hand it back over to you one more time. What do you want to say to your fans? You're heading into survival stage, but I know the doubters may not believe, but I know those who truly know your performance, we are believers, and we think you can go all the way. What do you want to say to your fans?
Well, I want to say thank you for our support. keeping supporting us. We're gonna try our best, and if God wants, finals.
Well, there it is. Rebel from Alpha 7, a dominant play zone right, dominant team. Let's see how they do in the survival stage.
The survival stage, the faint-hearted, and we have determined which 8 teams are going to be on into the and we've got Max. Max, have you missed me?
No.
What?
Not really, no.
You were at my wedding. This is treachery. What?
Still not.
It's ridiculous. Oh, well, regardless, we've got a good 2 days to look forward to here, 7. I am hyped to be here alongside you guys, bringing you these fantastic games.
I'm hyped. You too. Last time the desk host with one of the me. I think it was, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm happy we're back together, baby.
Was it that long ago?
It really
Slightly old. Well, anyway. And
no comment.
Sighing.
no comment.
I'm sighing internally.
It was a rough time. Let's take a look at the Jamil Motorsport player walk-ins as they are now leaving the hotel to make it towards the venue to try and get themselves out of the position they find themselves in. Again, it really does, though, 7, speak to the quality of the teams and the players that we've seen so far. When you look at the list that has had dropped down to the survival stage, PMWC is elite wall to wall.
It definitely has. I feel like I'm pleasantly surprised, and I'm happy that some of this top. I honestly, even though I had Alpha 7 in my predictions going to the grand finals directly from group stage, with the way this team has been performing, I'm glad that's not the case.
Imagine Alpha 7 here, again, one of the best teams in the world.
All right. Tournament, but let's take a look at the Gadia top players of the day. Throughout the whole of the group stages, I really want to say here, as all of these teams looking excellent across the board. Kino, though, starting things off here, Neptura, they need a little bit more spice here in the survival stage, I think.
I did say I wasn't going to talk about them because I don't want to jinx them.
No choice.
Oh,
I don't
really?
want to jinx them.
Okay, so shall we go to the cursor, Max, or what do you want to do?
You know,
I support Kinotrope. I do.
okay, now he said that. I have to say I support Kinotrope to try and offset that.
Mhm.
I do think they're a good team. I think they've got a lot of potential. That was
Sorry, I just had to joke.
explosive, but maybe Kino need a little bit more explosive in their lives.
I don't think that's going to save them. only
One thing,
Fair enough.
one thing to keep in mind there with Kino as was that players enter first through group stages, media day.
Well, we've got the Crunchyroll reactions as well. Let's take a look at all these players getting themselves heated here in the desert for the PUBG Mobile World Cup. And suffice to say here, Max, emotions were really riding high for a lot of these teams who, at moments here, teams like Power, it kind of got themselves
in the later stage of the match. It can try and make it this time around. Maybe a Power also, that would be great. Though, I'm still waiting the reaction here on the Crunchyroll side and break it this year.
But in a good way.
In a good way, when he's happy. No.
Yeah. Yes! How all these teams kind of play things out as well. There were some surprise wins here and then Neptura, but at the same time, there was some great control from teams. Be able to just have a stable game. Of course, we don't see a lot of those in the Bible. From teams here that have been able to
16.3.
I mean, when you look at the eliminations, they have 21 more eliminations than that second place team. And the crazy rival stage, these teams aren't going to have to worry about those heavy fragging teams just soaking up all those points. There's going to be a lot of opportunity, Max.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of opportunities going into that next stage. But I want to highlight two teams in particular. Team Secret, big surprise from SEA. Wasn't sure if they were going to qualify. But EDA Esports, able to outclass Regnum Caria, Falcons, and also Fireflux on their home region was a very, very big group stage. I wonder if they can try and do something similar.
Day, we saw some really good controlling zones coming in from them, some really nice setups. I am interested to see what they've got going into this one now, because it's one of not lesser teams, but less dominant teams coming in. Can they use that? Can they take advantage of that and really just dominate the lobby in these 2 days?
And then for the 16 teams that are left, they have potential to dominate, right? If you look like Regnum Caria, if you look at the uncharacteristic performance of an Alpha 7 here, it be like, okay, well, if they go into a lobby like this, and it's a lobby that's not moving across 2 days, they can gather momentum. Some big wins.
It's a time for me to just rip them apart, or am I into the
Do you want to
Alpha 7?
Do it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the whole week with Alpha 7. Let me see which one is the one I'm looking at. That one right there. With Alpha 7, outside of the first 15 points total. This is from the defending champions, the people that are expecting them to win. This is not a defending champion to me with the way that they're currently performing. I'm hoping that they're going to step it up in a big way. And if we talk about player performances, where's Rebel? Where's Mafioso? Carrillo is the only one right now putting up those points. So it's 17 eliminations. And he's not even in the top 10. He's top 20. What are we doing, Alpha 7? This is not the Alpha 7 that we expected coming into this.
So we just saw them arriving. Believe in a position clearly of power, even though actually, wait a minute, they're not there. Hello. We'd also placed them alongside some of our favorites here in Alpha 7.
If you squint your eyes, it's actually Alpha 7.
Alpha Gaming, Alpha 7, you don't add 7 more and you're pretty much
It should have been illegal to call themselves Alpha Gaming after Alpha 7's so good in this game, but it doesn't matter. At the same time, though, let's talk about some of these matches, right? You got Regnum Caria, you Falcons there. Obviously, we're expecting big things from them, but there wasn't deliverables coming in from Falcons in the
Falcons. Every time they just split apart, moving the player left, right, and center so well at that global stage. So here we need to see a big change. I think something even removed. Top 8 is just a question.
Conversation that I had with their coach Pecco earlier today. He was like, I was asking him, what was wrong during that group stage? He just kept saying we weren't playing the way we're used to. What is the main thing that they're going to be changing is the decision making. And I'm hoping that that's actually going to be the case for this team, because as you were mentioning, it seemed like a little bit too all over the place. And he didn't really want to tell me any secrets, fair enough, in regards to the way that they play. But they kind of spilled the beans a little bit. He said that they usually expect a lot of the other teams to be a little bit more scared. And I feel like that might be the case here in this lobby.
We have favorites. We also have contenders and dark horses. Neptura, who jumps out to you when it comes to the survival stage?
Survival stage, I think Power impressed me a lot coming into day number 2. I think their setups in the mid game were really, really nice. Large spreads over on the edge of circle. What's going on here?
The key master.
Key.
Oh, I thought they did so bad that they removed the key.
Yeah. They're like, no.
Look,
it goes back on the wall when you get a win. No.
As Max said, they're not dead yet. Like,
still here.
Look, they're all right. Be crushes at the end of these 2 days, that's for sure. Talking about Power, who else kind of really springs out for you here?
EA. I actually liked EA
Arena?
a lot. EA Arena was really, really good. I thought that they were inconsistent over the 2 days, right? But again, we saw a lot of this coming in from a lot of the teams actually in day 2. A lot of those first day jitters were out of the way. They started playing really nicely. Their setups were really good. Some decent eliminations, just not quite enough to get to the top 8. But coming into survival stage, I think we could expect a lot from them.
I was talking to Junior from the Indonesian talent, and he said actually the biggest issue that is still reoccurring outside of PMSL SEA is the timing. They're just a little bit too slow to get involved on fights. If they can fix that one glaring issue, like Mormon in particular is a star in SEA. They could maybe be in the top 8 because you got to be in the top 50%. That is definitely achievable for E-Arena.
I think some things that stood out to me when I was watching the group stage, 7, is that the edge barriers these teams are setting up are brutal at this international, and then teams coming in late are just trying to crash through and really not finding anything to work with, and they're one of the teams that may have fallen victim to that, alongside the Chinese teams that have already qualified through, so they kind of were able to play the averages overall, but some of the teams are definitely falling victim to this.
That was a pleasant surprise, by the way. Thunder Talk Gaming being able to make it straight to grand finals. I'm happy to see that. Now, talking about that edge play, talking about those teams having to move into the center a little bit faster, one team that was actually able to adjust, and I'm looking forward to seeing them how they perform today is AXTMG. They were able to get a win on the final day of group stages, and on top of that, just make adjustments through their overall gameplay.
Well, of course, here. Any final thoughts before we move on, Max?
I'm actually impressed to see Yangon Galacticos do so well at the first stage. I want to see a little bit more of how aggressive they were. So I think they could be a big surprise team to make in the top 8.
All right. Well, thank you very much, guys. Well, of course, we'll get more time to talk before the games actually do play out here for everything to go down. But it is the survival stage. You only have 12 games to make it through. Join that finals and get yourself a place in what potentially could be a history-making run if you're able to get through the survival stage and all the way there. Let's head on.
$16 teams step into the Gadia Esports arena with one goal in mind: survive. 3 days of competition slipped through their fingers last week, and now they are staring down the barrel. And so, my name is Barney Banks, and I am your host, and welcome to the PMWC 2020 to truly show our teams' capabilities and where they stand, because they're going to be fighting for survival. So, why don't you say we meet them, starting things off with intense game. Nongshim Red Force. Gamax Esports. Yangon Galacticos. Hora Esports. Power Esports. Regnum Carrier Esports. R8 Esports. Fire Flux Esports. Team Vision. Influence Rage. E Arena. Kinotrope Gaming. AXTMG. Team Falcons. Alpha 7 Esports. There's a different kind of tension in the air today. Is it the realization that the next 2 days could be their last? Survival can be summed up in 3 words. Never give up. Let's see which of these teams live up to that statement. It is time for the survival stage.
That's right, Banks. It's all or nothing for these teams now. There are no second chances across these next 12 games. And we have some titans of PUBG Mobile here who are staring down the barrel. Will they be able to overcome the challenges that they will face here in the survival stage? Again, joining me at the desk here to talk about it all, we have, of course, Neptura, we have Maxman, and we have Seven to talk about it. As Alpha 7, our current defending champions, our defending title holders here, are currently facing, I think they may, a huge titan of PUBG Mobile. Regnum Carrier currently also finds themselves down here as well.
And no one expected that to happen. I mean, Regnum, they've been the most talked about team, I think, even above it coming into this event. And here they are in survival stage. I will say in their defense, though, that they actually had a really good group stage. 42 points day 1, 39 points day 2. That's very, very consistent. It's just that with a 2-point difference from 8th place, somebody's got to be in that 9th place. Unfortunately, it was them. But for me, they didn't play all that badly, to me.
I would agree. I think it was just still a really good attempt, but it's nowhere near what we saw back in PMGO, right? Like that, they are not up to that level just yet. But no, they're getting back into it. I saw that right now that I think Tospic was bouldering, and you had Silas just chilling next to the pool. They're having a good time. They're feeling comfy here in Riyadh, but they're going to try and make it in the top 8.
Final thoughts here before we get to it, Seven?
It's going to be Team Falcons. I want to see how they're going to be performing. And talking in regards to players, Narvalo is one team that I actually want to see him step it up a little bit more. If I'm not mistaken, I think he ended up with 0 eliminations for all of group stage, which is insane.
That's a disaster. That is a disaster. And I mean, they were only 37 points across the group stage. Thank you very much, guys. I'm getting word that we are ready to head into the game here. It's an understood situation why Alpha 7 and Falcons are being focused on here. 2 massive names who are now here in the survival stage. Let's head over to the casters for game number 1 here.
Thank you very much, James. We are locked in, dialed into position, and excited to kick off the survival stage here live from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Myself, Jackie, and of course the magnificent Blank, who are going to be bringing you the action live as it comes to us. Some good talking points set up by the desk, as always, very Maxim-esque.
Very Maxim-esque indeed. And look, it's going to take more than a huddle to save the Falcons.
Oh yeah.
Let's put it that way. I respect the boys are getting hype. I respect the boys are getting hype, but not enough get loud.
Right, you've got to come out and absolutely take it out the mobile. It's not going to help.
It's really dramatic.
That's what I mean. Like,
dramatic.
He's behind you. None of that, Blank. It's all about who's in front of them when it comes to being able to rack up these points and show us what they're made of. Survival stage is dubbed that for a reason. It's about survivability. And for a team like those two, for Falcons and Alpha 7, it's an interesting X that's on top of them. So many other talented squads that are going to be looking to it out.
Another 8 teams go through to the finals in the survival stage. Taking place, of course, A's here. Our rotating lobby either, so we're going to have 16 teams every single time. Make things slightly easier when it comes to drop spots, figuring out where you need to go, where you need to out one team. I'm assuming that's Noxian Red Force.
Right back to day one's flavor there, Blank. A callback, really, a hot drop that I believe they came out on top with cleanly. I'm pretty sure they shut down Noxian Red Force very handedly on that one. And that actually set them up for one of the better days we've seen from them.
We probably would have had better games.
Better being the operative one,
Yeah.
you know, not amazing, but better.
Yeah, their day one was all right. And I think that they struggled on day 3. They struggled on day 3 a lot. But it will be R8 losing 1 player early on. That's between them and Yangon Galacticos over towards Paradise Resort. 2 pretty integral locations on the map is Paradise Resort as well as Ruins. But this fight between AX and Noxian Red Force, it's taken a while to kick off. But in the meantime, it is Yangon Galacticos. Nade over the top, Smile very low. Yet another one taken down.
See if they can build from this up close and personal spam with the SMG trying to bait him in. It's a quick peek back with the DBS. Nice knock. Oh, it's really not going well in the overall fight, though. You can see him being able to convert onto these knocks as well, so it's getting messy for both sides.
Got the Vector out. Fast fire rate on the side, but a good tag around the edge. But somehow, he absolutely fumbles it. Say Cloud will stay up here. 3 players up, 4 elims, very nice stuff. R8 goes down with just the 1 elim. AX, though, playing very cautiously, very safe. A Ralph here from Falcons making the rotate up towards Tambang. This is going to be, like you say, more than pageantry. This just can't be a rotate that you make, and it's just setting up there for setting up their sake. You know, he needs to check in over towards Ruins. This is a perfect opportunity for them to figure out how they want to deal with Ruins. We got a northwest circle on this one. If he recalls the rest of the boys, which they, honestly, in my opinion, should be moving pretty shortly. It's something they struggle with every time. Yes, Ralph sends up this way. You've got to follow up on that. You have to follow up on that.
Yeah. There's another vulture circling around that area towards Ruins as well, and that's a representative from E Arena with Joker in position to get a rough read, listening out for the audio cues. But of course, cutting over to what's going on the main feed here. Keenatron taking a bit of damage early on. It's actually Power Gaming, of course. The Power Esports boys coming out swinging. Again, another side that I feel like they were really hit with the unlucky stick towards the opening games we saw from them. By the end, Blank, they warmed up a bit. They were more proactive. You were seeing some nice splits, good fights. It's not really been that same level of lethality, though, I was expecting to see from Power.
Easy was pretty pissed, let's be honest, on that final day. There was a couple of moments where they dropped the ball. overall, it was a successful day, in my opinion.
That's fair.
Yeah, they didn't make it into that top 8, but I think you're right. It looked a lot better than their day 1. So for Power, at least, there's definitely opportunity, because I do respect it. I like the fact that they were willing to tell each other, like, guys, we've got to sort this out. There are some situations where we're just not playing well. And you know things are bad when Easy's the one who's holding the reins a lot of times. You don't want to see Al-Hadji in that front line. Narvalo's down.
Mate, this is what I was worried about. You could see both of them had the same idea to try and third party on this setup, but E-Arena just instigated and have already started to put Falcons into a rough spot. The AX setup as well on the drop. It's Henry that goes down. The thing that worries me here, this is way slower. The last time they went for this hot drop, they were taking the punches. They were the ones engaging. Henry seems like he went in for an opening sort of punch with the DBS. Didn't work. He's down. He's isolated. No one's there to back him up. But that worries me. Already, that's a sign of them not playing as confidently as they did last time.
It makes no sense to me either for Falcons, because if you're on that rotator from Sami, you've got a quick angle to get across that bridge. There. Remember, Thunder Talk's out in the game. Camp Alpha, technically open. Alter Ego on the game. That's the Northwest Island pop open as well. So you've got teams moving in, but most likely on this first game, survival stage, Camp Alpha is going to be pretty bare. Let's be quite frank about it. And I think for the Falcons, this should have been a quick read, send up, go towards Camp Alpha, or at least the compounds on that south side of it, scout it, then move further in. Well, I don't understand why we're waiting around here. Okay. If not, just have a look in over towards AX and Nongshim Red Force. You maybe get a pick off there, but the speed is slow. It's a slow rollout.
It's certainly a slow setup here as well. Doxy just playing on the edge towards the way there. You've got Cyrax in position. If he runs in, baited out the shot, you should get a quick outside. Lost with Henry falling early. Oh, the decision making on it. He had the timing for so long. Doxy gets in, not just with one, but a second follow-up supported by the squad. And that's how they shut them down.
God. I mean, fair play to him, right? He got the hit reg off.
Yeah.
And he just doesn't do enough damage. I think the annoying thing for him is that Doxy just goes in with such careless abandon that it's almost hard to hit the shot on him. If AX going down there does feel pretty rough, but for Nongshim Red Force, definitely a positive sign for them. Getting ahead with all 4 players up. Power loses 2 as they move up. Easy. Frontliner, nade in hand, always has been touted as one of the better players on that team when it comes to those nades. Yeah, this was silly, in my opinion. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a lot of emotion.
Yeah, I mean, you know how much it means to them. And that is a brutal start. One, you've got to sit there and just really absorb the atmosphere of the other teams now. No influence you can have on this lobby.
Dude, it also causes problem for you into the future, because now you're kind of considering whether you should keep going back to Paradise Resort.
True.
All right, it sets a precedent for Yangon Galacticos. Al-Hadji's still down. Managed to get 2 elims this game. I don't know how far he is out from this compound. We'll see if they can get him back up again, but I think it's highly unlikely. Vision down to 2. Marcelo and Volt still up. Volt had some pretty good success, I would say, in the group stage. I think he was carrying the team quite a few times. See what he's able to do here. What? There is so much space. The Northwest Island, it's so crazy. 4 thrives in hard tin. You know, Thunder Talks Camp Alpha, Alter Ego, top side of the mountain. Teams should know that there is so many locations. I don't know why no one went to any of these spots either. I wonder if they just assumed that they would just be running into hot drops, and it's just hilarious to me that we instead get hot drops on Ruins as well as Paris Resort. Yeah.
Yeah, indeed. It's already looking like a bit of a scrappy one to kick us off here, going into the first day of survival stage. It's uncomfortable as well for Power, right? You had that third party set up towards the ridge side there with Hora getting the vision down, so they were able to take the connection shot off onto Al-Hadji. And you're just trapped, feeling like sitting ducks, especially from the angles they've got if you try and peek out into it. Okay, E-Arena on our screens here, though. Already claimed that 1 elim to start things off. Could be a good setup from Loxy from the sideline. Molly in through the door. Nade's responding on top of it as well. Spam on the smoke to see if he can get a connection. Topsic has that nade towards the backside. You've got a bit of a reposition from Joker there. He was the man that took a big blow onto Falcons to knock one player early, and he's still building. Good close quarters combat, quick reposition, find himself some cover. Wanted to convert onto the knock, but instantly bitten back upon by Silas.
This is the technical best team in survival stage. Wow, that could have been a big amount of damage going through. Mormon has to back off the building. Nasty bounce on that one will cause it to jump back, but the shots coming through from Team Falcons. Now finally made that decision to cross the bridge. Took them a while, and it required E-Arena to make that move first. But for Regnum Karya now, they need to speed up this fight.
They've got to clean them out, remove Mormon from the position, so they've actually got some backline cover with that roam up from Falcons. You're going into his domain though. DBS, nice moves to at least try and bait him off with the peek from the side, but Mormon's ready for the first.
While down, so just 2 players left for Regnum Karya. Not ideal whatsoever. Not an easy circle to play for Regnum Karya. But getting in here on this engagement, I think for Loxy, he's getting caught on the backside here. No information. It was a bit of a weird one with a 1-3 split going on. And the timing's just a bit off. It's a good Molotov actually from Joker as well, because it prevents Loxy from going back in that building, forces him to take that 1v1. He's got the lip to play around with. You just wonder if the comm didn't come through fast enough for the rest of the team to react. That was just Silas, Toshbik left alive. They've got no clue where these bullets are coming from either, scanning the horizon.
The Elim feed as well, it's that delayed fight that was going on between Vision and Power. Trapped in the compound for quite some time. No Fit was the one just guarding, watching over the top if they did peek out, but intermittent skirmish just between the two teams. No room for him to snatch away some points from that yet. And this has really been starved out as well. It's just that duo left, not the ideal start. A team that really could go so far here as Vision do finally fall though, taken out.
Yeah, Alteki, very shiny coat on that one coming off the back of PMGO. And to be honest, I put a lot of stock in that team.
Yeah.
I put a lot of stock in Regnum Karya. I do think they can go far. They get pitched out because it is such a fierce battle for the top on day 3 of group stages. I think it was 2 points. 2 points.
It was really close, yeah.
I think they ended up on 9th place there. So Regnum Karya, I still think they can go far here as a team. Not a great start, though, over on Sandhawk. They do have technically one of the strongest locations right now. But do they really have it, or are they just living in E-Arena's territory?
Might actually get the Falcons move up onto them as well. They've been biding their time for a while here. Meanwhile, we join the action with Alpha 7. Of course, defending champions of the trophy and the title from last year, but a very different look with how they've seen out on the battleground. Revo with the first contact, good shots over at least, able to keep himself behind cover.
Not sure what Doxy's doing here, just kind of open themselves up for Revo to take any shots that he would like. Over the top, will hit hard. Doxy will go down. That's a heavy blow to take. Second one goes through. Almost was on target. A little bit of a bouncer there. Could have been terrible news for Nongshim Red Force. Difficult location for Falcons play from them. As we head up towards Regnum Karya as well as E-Arena, it's just a bit of a hill, right? It's pretty sheer. And again, if we keep circling in on this location, it's going to be downhill battles for some of these teams. And more often than not, an uphill battle for quite a few of them.
Yeah, you would be firmly on struggle street. It's fight continuing here as well. Issue is for Nongshim in the back line. You're going to get closer and closer towards the Falcons. You're going to have bullets coming in from either side, feeling uncomfortable with the split as well, down to just 2 players off the back of this. Some nice nade work from Squash. He's been quite consistent, I'll give him that as well. It's been nice to see what Squash has been bringing to the roster.
He's fitted quite well, you know, like a glove. It's nice to see for Alpha 7 they can just get on board with him. They're right, though. They do have to try something different because it's not working. This is very different for Alpha 7, I would say. It's a much more passive playstyle than we usually see over on Sandhawk. They took their time to head over towards this position. The circle does afford them that time, though, over on this southern bridge. And I do wonder how they're going to play this one out. Luckily for them, Falcons are losing a player. You've got Noxian Red Force down to 2. So there is a route in for Alpha 7.
Regnum Karia as well. It feels like it's so unfortunate with the setup there of how that initial fight went. And ever since, right, you've been trapped. Silas just having to keep himself in cover with the vehicle behind. Knows there's teams around him.
The crazy thing to me is that E-Arena's not cleared them.
No.
Because I get that Silence could take shots. I mean, if I'm E-Arena right now, I'm looking to clear Regnum Karia as the circle starts to push in. A lot of these teams on the northeast side are worrying about one another. As opposed to E-Arena and Regnum Karia. You don't want them sat in this location. It's such a strong spot as well, considering like the surrounding area of it, where it's quite difficult to push over to that location. There's a little bit of cover in terms of trees as well as the rocks. But you have prime location. And so do Falcons. Falcons managed to pull this back from what was a bit of a shaky start, in my opinion. I feel like they could have had this a lot sooner.
You had the reposition from Ragnar as well, of course, the last remaining member of Power Esports. Not bad considering they found themselves 6 eliminations, but obviously going to want to try and steal away more. So much line of sight to play with. Really just tucked in now. Vehicle gets hit with a barrage of bullets from the bridge there. Korea being able to get vision onto him, so he's just got to tuck in.
I think he shot his own tire out.
I think he has, yeah.
Accidentally.
Danger close, danger close.
Yeah, not ideal.
I guess this has at least taken the attention off Binny. Obviously, he tucked in underneath the bridge a while ago and Nongshin had to back off.
Check it. At least check it. He should know there's another team around here. He clears one. He knows there's at least 2 players up for Nongshin. Bridge. Please. To bridge, that hampers your chances. In the meantime, Yangon Galacticos have been pushing in from the blue, right? Now they're up against Influence Rage, and Myrna sent a wild spray in over towards Diego. Luckily, get shot around the side.
Doing obscured, but the bullets were on, and it's all gone wrong.
Lay on the bandage. I mean, to be fair, I'm saying that, but in the moment, that's a difficult decision to make.
Yeah.
You got to be quick thinking. So I can't be too upset with that one. I think the fact that Yangon Galacticos gets as far as they do is already fairly impressive. Or from that side, they do clean up, troop with Scarface. Brutal. That is brutal. Almost no reason to be on the south side of the circle. Yeah. And Revo goes down. Was that to Tizzy or Binny?
Tizzy. Yeah, Tizzy from the coastline.
It is sloppy.
Yeah.
It is sloppy.
I think the thing is, yeah, okay, they finally got vision onto it. That's the scary bit, because then obviously you turn your head on a swivel, you're expecting back towards the coastal side. Binny might have been able to cause some issues. Both dive in towards the water.
Oh, mate.
This is getting messy.
Squash is looking around the side. There is a team coming through. That is a nice angle. Well played, Squash. Ignore that. 5 looks over towards the east. Right now, they just need to clear a lot of these teams on their eastern side. But they lose 1 in Solus, which is not good. They have a lot more teams to deal with, and they need a large roster to make that happen. Desperately needs to get him back up on his feet. Binny will go down eventually. Regnum Karia actually winning on the north side.
Squash finally being able to finish that one off onto Binny as well. And you're right. It's not ideal whatsoever for an intense game. Bullets back over onto it. Meanwhile, we lose the last representative from Horror Esports as well.
It's 2 guys.
Wow.
Push them.
Yeah, go for something confident here, surely. Play off one another. I mean, Silas has just been tucked in this exact pass for like a good, 5-10 minutes? Effectively uncontested. The nade back.
This is wild. This is wild. On the left-hand side, will go down. Toshpik needs to be quick on the trigger, though. He wants to get Silas back up. One goes down the back lines. They might just finish this off. Now just Mormon left alive. Toshpik in a 1v1.
Oh, the peek into it. Okay, quick switch to the shotty secondary and able to mop that one up. But that is... The fact he's forced it down to the decision to make to go for the pick back as well, especially for Fireflux further down the hillside. How has he got away with so much mischief? Just 2 of them.
35 seconds. I think he has time to get Sakura back up again, but yeah, messy. Very, very messy. I do think that E-Arena could just have pushed them slightly earlier there. With nades, take 2 angles. If you're getting shot, just back it up. Falcons, though, fantastic spot. Could have had 4. Avalo didn't go down. But Alpha 7 do make it to that coastal side, and Tizzy continues to be a problem.
Yeah, the double spray. He got the backline angle for a double spray onto Alpha 7.
They know he's here.
They were aware from so long ago. Exposed themselves. This is brutal, bro. Up as well. Falcons potentially realizing now's the time to go in. Koa from the sideline spots them. Exchange on points between either team. We say goodbye to Alpha 7. And Falcons looking to put themselves in a good spot.
Alpha 7 Falcons just take down Tizzy there. Honestly. Fair play to the Falcons. This has been an odd game all round. Let's be honest. I think Falcons could have been quicker over towards that north side. There's a lot of teams on that northwest island that were cut out in that top 8. Who were finding the most success there. Nate goes down over towards Ralph.
My.
Literally eats it, chomps down on it. No big deal.
That's... Difference is, obviously, when you look at the battle of attrition, Falcons the only squad that have 3 players left alive going into this. I want to play off, rotate over Fireflux as well.
Scarface is not... He's a bit of an unknown factor here for these teams because he is incredibly good when it comes to these open sight lines. They also have this ridge to work around. And Fireflux are currently inside the circle. Falcons have to push out into that open ground. E-Arena also need to move, but they're close to the circle, so they can afford to wait slightly. You can see here Koa as well as Ralph edging closer and closer. That's a big Molotov. Very, very nicely placed. That's Ralph going down, and Koa has to play in the smokes, but there's Scarface.
Oh, here he comes. Unloads the magazine, gets a clean connection off. Sakura down, sideline back over from Redox. Goes both ways. Wave goodbye to E-Arena. Leaves us in the final fight with just 2 squads, Fireflux and Falcons.
This is fantastic from Koa, man. He has to immediately start moving up. He knows he can't delay. And I think actually Fireflux won't expect him being this close. Like, that was a stellar decision from him.
Catch. Spotted out from Redox in the back line. Prime nade from Koa, chucked back over. Calls it quits on the push back up. 2-2 split. A lot of distance to work with here. Uphill battle, just spots out the head, but it's a quick timing on the peak. Scarface, back over, bullets down, heavy tag.
The only thing is that Redox almost scares him off the position that Koa was going for with the nade. This nade's coming in quick, though. Koa sends a nade down, does good damage over towards Ketch, and Scarface is yet to toss the nade just yet. Could airburst over towards him. Koa's taking a 1v1, and Ketch will win it out.
Oh, the Tommy Titan unloads the magazine, shuts down the first. Redox with a big task ahead of him. Quick peek up over the rock face, battling back with the DBS, trying to keep them isolated. Give himself 1v1s. He's got the heal in. Quick peek back around, trying to see if he can bait them on the face. If they give him an opportunity, he could snatch it up close. But Scarface handles it, and they will snatch that one away.
It's a dangerous proposition. Scarface will be letting some scars into the battleground there. I feel that it's hard to deal with him. But the Falcons, though, again, cannot give enough praise over towards Koa. He is just making some big movements. I really do think if Redox doesn't take those shots there, potentially that nade goes through. It's a little bit of a miscom potentially. It might be a case he has to take those shots to keep himself alive, but yeah, frustrating. Definitely frustrating stuff there.
It just felt like the pace, very slow burn on that one as well. You can see they're not over-egging it. I don't know if that's going to be a problematic issue though as well, but there just isn't that much level of instant engages, the quick confidence, the plays you'd expect them to make. A little bit more timid, they walk away with second place. Fireflux take that one to kick off the survival stage. We'll bring you more action in a few minutes' time.
Cybertron's future is near. Autobots, roll out! This planet reeks of weakness. Your courage reignites my spark. We'll crowd a new load of Cybertron. Roll for freedom. A victory for all sentient beings.
a region notorious for excellence and inflatables, apparently, here for the Esports World Cup. And we have got ourselves a victory for Fireflux. Stuff from them coming in on able to get the door as well as Max, man. Fireflux, man, I mean, they were able to win things out on the eastern side. It was looking a little bit tricky there, Max, but they did make it work.
I like Fireflux, man. Rename this. Fireflux, man. No, playing Trifecta, there was a lot of teams. I think there was Kinotrope, Influence Rage. There was also Owl Point Horror. Just, we don't want to get involved in that mess over there. We'll just wait into the deeper side of Trifecta, wait for all the teams to fight and eliminate each other, and then we transition, claim the high ground to go for the win. It was a clean, executed chicken dinner. I do think other teams maybe showed more potential, but we finally get a Turkish chicken dinner instead of Regnum Kara, which is kind of impressive.
I mean, for a team that has a lot of experienced players, this is something you and I were talking about, Max, coming into today, is that we were kind of expecting Fireflux to be a bit of a dark horse today, right? The experience is there. They just haven't really been executing a plan. So for them to get a chicken dinner here, it kind of sends a bit of a red flag to all the other teams that they are here to win it and make it to the grand finals.
I mean, because if you tell me how do Fireflux tend to play, passive does not come to mind. Okay, they see you, they chase you down, they get the 4 points. Here they were just playing very slow, which that shows growth for me that they might be able to make in the top 8.
I think something that was cool about their approach towards those final circles is they were hedging their bets. We were talking about how the coastline can be very strong in these kinds of circles, but also you have Scarface North trying to position as if he could potentially take the high ground. Once the circle shifts come in here, 7, they're like, okay, we can take this high ground. We can leverage this against our opponents, and I think it was really good for them to have options available.
Yeah, and at the end, I mean, you saw them being able to react to Koa once Koa was trying to get an angle on them too. Quick reaction, making sure you eliminate them, and now you turn that into a 2v1. Red Ox was just not going to be able to do much. One team that I did see there towards the bottom of the leaderboard, and I kind of have to call them out, is going to be AXTMG. Once again, with this hot drop on Nonsham Red Force, you could tell Nonsham Red Force is not like that. I mean, they're wondering if it's going to be happening tomorrow. Now, the reason why I bring this team up is because for AXTMG, Sandhawk is usually their best map. Now it's time to put up or shut up for that team and make sure they get points going into Erangel.
It's not BMPS, you don't have as many summons as they have over there. And why do you want to start your best map with a hot drop? Like, I'm sorry, it doesn't matter. You can be good at the map, but hot drop is just pretty much 50-50, and even if you do win it, you might lose players, and you don't have a chance of winning it.
Especially since there's other options than Ruins down there that nobody's at. So you could take the same rotation paths as well, in theory.
Yeah, I could see why they did it, especially because remember, they won that first hot drop back in group stage, and then it kind of forced them out. So they're feeling themselves, they're feeling confident.
Yeah.
They think they're going to do it again, but that was not the case. I'm hoping that one of these two teams is going to be giving it up. And if it's any team, I would highly suggest for AXTMG to just step away.
You're talking about AXTMG. R8, Yangon Galactico. That was happening in Paradise Resort. I thought it was completely resolved after the group stage, right? We know where all these teams drops. You know these compounds, these cities are overtaken. Why is it happening again when you only have, 12 games? You need to make every game count, so this is going to hurt them really, really badly here for the survival stage.
Very small sample size of 12 games. And if 2 games on a Sandhawk are going to be aggressive starts and things like that, I would argue in a really long-form tournament, Paradise Resort's not that bad a spot to actually challenge for compared to a Ruins, right, Max? But, I mean, at the same time, only 2 of them. I would rather you go trash drop near Paradise and not take that for only 2 Sandhawks.
There are so many teams. I mean, it's no Yasnaya. Like, it's not big enough to have 2 teams. If you want to fight for it, fair enough. But you could also just drop around, as you said, go for the trash locations around it and shut down the rotation of that team's trying to exit, because we have this trend of circles going always Northwest Island. It's happening every time. So you just just put yourself between Paradise and Northwest Island. Easy 4 points. Like, it's easy.
We've seen some teams in the past being able to do that and actually succeed with it as well.
Yeah, I mean, I can appreciate. So, for example, because we get so many of those Northwest Islands on Sandhawk here, Max, you don't have Thunder Talk in the lobby. You don't have Alter Ego in the lobby. So I like the adaptation that we see from Intense Games to try and drop up there. I mean, it's obviously a great spot if you can make it work. And we see Circle so commonly up there, but it really didn't materialize for them in this game.
Actually, yeah, of course, Intense Game is the obvious outlier that they took the E-Arena, the Alter Ego spot, of course, going into that. I want to highlight Regnum Karia. They know, oh, wait, that position is going to be free right away. We're going to send it right in the compound next to where typically Alter Ego or Thunder Talk would tend to play. So they snatch it very early on. I do think, unfortunately, E-Arena had a very similar idea and cracked the same compound. Like, you're already here, what's going on? But that did, unfortunately, result in an early elimination of Regnum Karia.
Well, not even early elimination. They fought for so long. It came down to 18 minutes, and then that's when the fight finally ended. And then nobody ended up winning because I think E-Arena ended up with, what was it, just 1 player, and Regnum Karia obviously getting eliminated. So not something that you want to see. Something I do want to mention, though, with Alpha 7 7, we were seeing them late rotate into the circle. We were wondering if that was going to be happening because of the way that the circle was going to be going. And then on top of that, they were just being able to surprise Nunchum Red Force. You had some players from Nunchum Red Force being able to now move on to the North Island. One thing I was kind of thinking about in my head, I was like, man, they're not clearing. They're not clearing that player towards the bottom, and he's going to be able to get him. I'm not sure. I can't remember at the top of my head if he did end up getting Rebel or not. But then on top of that, they know where TZ was, still on the South Island, and they still go for that push without any cover. It's just crazy mistakes for Alpha 7 to be making.
It felt like them and Fireflux both knew there is someone down there. We can't take the coastline as easily as we would like. You have to clear them out. And then it felt like almost as if Alpha 7 had got a little bit impatient with that push forwards and then being so open on that angle. It's a bit uncharacteristic for me once again of Alpha 7 here, Max.
Yeah, I just want to repeat what Blank said. They know he's there. They knew the entire time he was down there. Like, he was taking shots earlier. It was very surprising that even if you can't get rid of him because he's going to play very sneaky, play behind the ridge, he does not want to get eliminated. But the fact that they just send it on rocks and trees that, like, one-off angle can just destroy your entire setup was very surprising. So I think Alpha 7's going to have a bit of a wake-up call after this game that this is survival stage. Games like this, you're not going to get away with a slightly good position. You need to be very, very careful when you take them over.
Yeah, definitely a wake-up call. And the thing is that we usually see a team being able to kind of set up themselves. If you know that there's a player there, send 2 players in the vehicle, but at least have the other player keeping an eye out towards that South Island. That wasn't even the case. They weren't even worried about it. And that's the biggest wow moment for me. It's like, you cannot be making these mistakes, especially in an area that they have won games before in PMSL Americas.
Yeah, I mean, we could talk about Alpha 7 for a hot minute here. I actually want to highlight Falcons. Like, they knew the value of that underbridge and the coastal area, and they're like, okay, actually, Alpha 7 getting completely destroyed by Tizzy and the off angle over the side of that river. Let's just get an off angle of our own, eliminate them, and then get a very nice entry point into the circle for both Core and the side, of course, of Red Ox. So I think we've seen a lot more in this one game alone here, 7, of Falcons than the entirety of the group stage.
And for Falcons, one thing that was a little bit sketchy for me was going to end up being just Rauf maybe overextending too much.
Yeah, I've got to look out for that. Well, thank you very much, gentlemen. It is time now to head over to the commentators. Game number 2, we change things up and head to the grassy pastures of Erringel.
Thank you very much, James. Excited for this one, but I think for the teams, Blank, you can see they are erring on the side of caution. We have seen moments of panic, frustration, specifically in the case of R8, and man, some decision-making where it feels like everyone's a bit more timid today. The survival stage and the title that comes with that, you can feel the true force in this arena.
So the teams are absolutely at risk, at Kayla risk, of going over the edge.
That's actually pretty good. I like that. I like that. And I'll tell you what you'll like, our official PUBG Mobile map feed that is now live on YouTube, of course. If you want to follow the games in the same way that me and Blank do when we're in the casting booth and we've got both screens up at the same time, giving you all the info, you can do it. And why wouldn't you?
You could be in the booth at home. We have Booth at Home. We do, now available over on PUBG Mobile Esports YouTube channel. Check that one out because it's going to be all important here, keeping up to date with all the scrappy rotations, the weird and wonderful turns we're going to go through on this match of it comes out live here from Riyadh. Very excited to see how this one plays out because you're right. I think it's a perfect opportunity to bring this up. It's just they're stressed.
Yeah,
they're stressed, and it's not fun to look at. Teams, the tension is so tight, and I'm feeling like for some of these teams that string's going to snap and it's going to be explosive. I'm going to get back into this. I mean, you see Rebel just rubbing the eyes down. I mean, he is that last game. I mean, yeah, rub the eyes, blind to Binny.
Apparently so, right? It just felt like they knew about those positions. They were aware of what they had to do, but when it came down to decision-making, it just wasn't Alpha 7. It really wasn't. It didn't have that same caliber that we know they can play to.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. I was saying to you, it feels almost like you're watching 4 individuals that are fighting amongst themselves. It's not that sort of team effort that we saw that took them to that title win last year, and a lot can change in 12 months.
Mafioso was the rock for that team, and now it's kind of squash who's that player for them. It's weird as well because for Alpha 7, I mean, those 3 players have been together for the longest time. They have some very good grouping and play well off the back of one another. But I think the days are gone now where Revo could kind of just step up to absolutely anybody in the lobby and win with the DBS, just hands down. I think he has to play off the rest of the team and just having those moments where like, I'm just going to push up. It doesn't work anymore. Anyway, we banged on a lot about Alpha 7 there. Currently on a split up towards that north side. Let's hope it goes well in this game for them. And instead, let's take a look at Falcons. The last game could be described as some sloppy maneuvers. I think that they could make it through to the top 8 with that kind of play style. They looked a lot more solid over in PMSL EU. And I think they need to get back into things. I think for them, honestly, the pressure is probably less on here in survival stage, and it's pulled back a little bit. You know, that pressure to go straight to main stage, all the crowd cheering for them, not as much for them here over in the survival stage. But again, it is still Coos making a lot of those big movements, a lot of those big decisions, and I'd like to see some more of the team, you know, step up for them, because right now you can't be the only one making those plays, forcing the team into good positions.
Yeah, I think again on that note as well, you could see sort of the high pressure decision making. The comms looked a little bit messy, and in the survival stage, I just don't think you can be allowed that luxury. It's got to be point perfect. The choreography needs to be nailed every time. And if we're ever looking at them where it feels like, oh, you know, it's paralysis by analysis, they're not able to instantly make that heads up call. Yeah, I just don't think that embodies how that team needs to play. We'll see, though, obviously. Game 1, right, we'll put it to one side. Let's focus up on the rest of the survival stage today. We're going to our second update now. We'll see how the land starts to lie. Of course, relatively close grouping for the mid portions of the teams there. Not gigantic point earners for the most part.
Fireflux, I bet they're very pleased about the Sandhawk. I mean, it's been quite a while since we've seen an actual good Fireflux Sandhawk. I think they were always in the conversation towards the end game, but getting themselves a chicken dinner must feel very, very good. You saw them shouting. They were elated by that win. It's a good moment for them. And I think for Fireflux, this is certainly the spark that might start something special for them in the survival stage. For their PMSL EU outing, you know, it was pretty decent. Pretty decent, all considered. Couldn't quite best over towards some other teams, but overall it's a very, very good result for them. Sort of came out of nowhere on that last day and just jumped and jumped and jumped. For Regnum Karya, on the other hand, there have been some really good games. I think that 2 days of play in the group stage, there were some really cool moments. What I think happened to Regnum Karya in that group stage is that they had a lot of situations where they could have capitalized like Alter Ego, but failed to transition very, very late into the game. It's something fantastic. And I think if they were able to do that, I think that would give them the confidence and momentum to push even further. So I think for Regnum Karya, we're waiting a little. We're playing the waiting. We can't wait for that.
No, you said, I think as well, 4-5's had some amazing games. The team that all felt like they could have made similar plays was Regnum Karya. They were always in very similar positions. Yes. But like you say, didn't quite realize on it. And we saw how well that went for 4-5's, right? Suddenly you absolutely blow the way up. They're looking fantastic, racking up those results. And yeah, I mean, again, man, like we're coming into this, they're one of the teams that you would expect to be able to make it out from this portion of survival stage. And I think with the talent, they should be able to bring it, but obviously you've got to show that in the lobby.
I think you would be disappointed not to see them go through. And it's funny, actually, because the way things actually shape up right now, barring, let's say, E-Arena, which I think that's the only team I'm sort of skeptical about. But if he's through to the finals, I think I'd be quite happy with that. Honestly, I think that makes sense. You know, Fireflux all the way down to Regnum, but I am prepared for anyone to make that big, impressive maneuver.
It's early doors, so we'll hold our reservations for now, see how it develops. Oh, AX, okay, up against Alpha 7 up on the hillside. Exchange of nades. Only a few left in the back pockets, couple thrown out. Relatively fragmented as well. It's Devotee that's kind of trapped on an island. Cyrax's there, but the Bazon to support, not the best range.
Yeah, absolutely running low on ammo as well. And I mean, for Alpha 7, they've had to back off because it's danger close on the other side of Regnum Karya pushing up that way. The intense game playing around Hospital. Typically, Regnum Karya is quite good at playing this position, where they hold a lot of space and just create problems for you. It's very central right now as well, so I don't think many teams are too unhappy with their spot for Alpha 7. They're dropping smokes right now, trying to get away. I think they're happy to just give this corner of Everest over towards AX. They don't want to get caught in the crossfire between two teams.
Quite a nice shot from Henry there. Good distance on it. Looked like the Mini 14 getting a tag from the sideline. It's Mafioso. So they are able to back themselves up. Of course, tons of cover to work with on this. She's not going to eat damage from the front line. Mafioso as well can kind of hold Edgard in this, get a bit of a read on where they're going.
Your only difficulty, right, is you getting pincered a little bit for Alpha 7. It takes a lot of coordination to realize where you are. For AX, they're in a slightly worse scenario where there's a lot of sightlines looking up towards that location. You can get pushed easily, and then you become the pincered team. Typically, if no one heads up here, Alpha 7 does need to be very careful about this southwest side of Everest. Regnum Karya, that's going to play it slow. Yep, absolutely don't want to be doing that. I think you did see clear that actually go out to scout the building that currently Regnum Karya have held. And it's a good spot. It's a very, very good spot to play, quite open around there. You do have this little ridge side here, which prevents you from taking shots to teams that do situate themselves on this locale. But this is going to provide information back fairly quickly if Regnum Karya ever want.
Meanwhile, you get the POV as well. Nice little establishing shot here with the rotate for Horror Esports. Another team that I think, we've seen a lot of good telltale signs, especially in that last game, some of the heads-up fights they went for. No Fear was making some nice plays. I think Sky as well, like the close range combat, dude, he was thriving. It felt like he was just kind of, bring me more, bring me more.
No Fear's has his moments, right? And I think the Sky's able to capitalize on them quite a lot. But yeah, No Fear's been opening up a lot of opportunities for this team. I think they fell off quite a large amount towards the end of group stage, weren't able to quite maintain pace with some of the other teams who were just living in large, right? Alter Ego were living their movie throughout the entirety of that one. I think for Horror, they just weren't able to match that. I think here in this type of lobby, it's a much easier locale to really display some of that strength that they have. Now, this is an awkward one. You see a tons of team on the western side of this circle. You're pushing out over towards open ground, over towards Pachinki. You don't necessarily want to head over towards one of those cities nice and early here. But for your team vision, I think heading over towards Church right now, getting that high ground set up, you could easily go for something like that. You won't want Fireflux coming in from that eastern side to pick that one up too quickly. So yeah, I think for team vision, it is just the case of vision. Making sure it's not teams are on the way.
R8 as well. For to a potential battle between Rage there. The roadside. Set up. Couples back over. Prestige taking a hefty hit from Law, bringing down the gavel on one. And again, able to at least withstand an opening pick here and bring yourself back into it. I'll take it out and get the response back over. 3-3 left on the player count there between them and Influence.
Yeah, Law gets repealed. Like you say, it's a case of we went 3 for 3, right? I think us losing one player, you losing one player, can't be too unhappy with that one. At least it doesn't go unanswered, right?
Yeah.
But all right, if it weren't unanswered after that last game where they barely got to play, you're feeling so cold going into that third match. It's very rough. So they have to play in this game for a good 10 minutes from now. If they want to get some more of that practice in, which you hope they've been doing over the past break day, or maybe they're taking a bit more of a relaxer. But wait and see. Horror over towards the east, coming in through from Pachinki. Yangon Galacticos down towards the south side, though. See if they actually do end up battling against one another. I think they do have a player nice and up in front to hold those players out. Horror's going to have to go for something very quick here.
Could be an interesting head-to-head as well. Both of those teams have been playing with a pace a fair bit throughout the games we've seen from them. I think Horror as well, a lot of question marks. They play a little bit too passive at times, but they've been able to switch it on when they need to.
Pretty rough position going through this field. A lot of sightlines available over towards it. It's a little bit later in the game now, so not as many teams will be holding this. So they're just going to head over towards the south side of Pachinki. I think that's fair enough. they checked the buildings down towards that south side where Yangon Galacticos currently ended up, and they didn't fancy that smoke. So sending over towards that south side, taking the gamble on that one that no one's picked up for the meantime. They can potentially hold out a mistake for them. The next circle coming through. Ouch. Straight down towards the fields. Teams have got to plant themselves in here.
Hope someone comes along to water you to sprout into a chicken dinner. Kind of combining the analogies there. I don't know if that one really lands.
A bountiful harvest.
No, there you go. It's true. It's a nice potato growth.
Over towards this field. You don't have much choice right now. This is going to have to be a fast migration from a lot of teams. You are burning rubber to get here. But where in here do you go? There's not a lot of options.
Yeah, limited space with a lot of squads to try and balance this out between them.
It's actually a great rotate from Falcons. I'm actually very pleased with this. This is fast. They're into a nice spot. Actually, this is one of the better rotations that Falcons made, because this is a team that frustrates me so much because they'll see it. Never mind. On follow. Oh, come on. They'll see that not free and take it. Honestly, play it through because this good spot. You had to be quick about it. Yeah, sure, maybe lost a tire. That's why he goes down there.
Chicken dinner of the survival stage.
It looks like they're healthy for it. Right, they're giving it this game. Keynote trope, not a bad location, and then very, very central. Honestly, I would be very, very happy to see Falcons do well this game. But with Gamma on the north side, who've caused them problems multiple times in the past. We'll have to wait and see. I'll pin in that one.
Do get the shots off 14 that he's back onto AX. The arena similarly nipping at the heels on the chase there. Seems like Lil Boy goes down. The keynote trope. Position towards the compound where Gammax were holding.
These are some brutal circles, Jackie. It's very brutal. Kind of the crescent moon on the eastern side, just filled with fields and then kind of open area. The grasslands over towards the western edge. It's a bit bumpy though. a nice little neat moment. Squeeze through the gap on that west side, but I think they're likely wanting to be holding up those teams like from the west.
Heads on a swivel here for Fireflux as well. Found a stab back over towards Vision. Able to take that man down, out of commission. Still looking for more, potentially reposition back over from Scarface onto Hora. Meanwhile, on our screens here, you can see the nades being cast out down towards Intense Game. The Dolphins have got to make a move quick. One shot. Couldn't quite land it though.
It's fun. He does go down. Scarface actually pushes really far to eat and so say nice pick. Although he probably come back.
As well. Obviously Fireflux setting themselves up after picking off one player with the aggro push from Scarface. Everyone else is being able to shoot towards them as they have to bail quite far distance in the ground. Held down.
Falcons do catch off one of the players. Sky is getting a little bit too close for comfort for them. They're going to hold this position. The circle going off as well. Good for Falcons. More time spent in this compound means more time and safety. Silas is able to find AEX, but Silas will get taken out by Intense Game, giving them no chance to pick their player back up again. They had a 2-2 split going on. Wild wasn't able quite to grab him. I say long shot, by the way, down that south side versus Alpha 7, and they find him.
Yeah, that was the steal away from Arena as well, even off the back of the knock from R8 there. Alpha 7 feeling a little bit uncomfortable. Obviously, Intense Game similarly in the angle to work with.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't really know why he was peaking that in the first place. Like, they've got to think about what they need to do next. If R8 has to move in. Like, there's limited time, so had to make that peak, especially when he's placed himself on the hard edge of the blue as well, where the north side can see you. Not enjoyable. Yeah, I don't see them lasting very long here.
Now, it was a nice attempt on the rescue mission. I'll give him that. Obviously, for what it is, though, Squash is able to lock this angle down. He's been really crisp as well. Good tracing. You can see even from distance, able to keep on target. Obviously, you run the risk of going for the save on your teammate. Instead, both you go down because of it. So again, it's a really brutal game for R8. Meanwhile, here we can see E-Arena on the crash down. They're going to see if they could shut down Intense Game. Flashbang right in the corner. Keep you concussed. The shotgun comes out. Joker trying to make things work, and they will do just that. Goodbye, Intense Game.
8 elims again for E-Arena. Weird moments where E-Arena has these cool plays, but then will completely cool off. The engine will stall, and we see if that happens right here, right now versus Alpha 7s. They make their way up. They hear the fighting. It's a good opening knock, and they're sending more in. What are you doing? Oh, let him crawl in at least.
So grouped, they give that one up basically for free with the shrapnel being thrown over from Alpha 7. Al-Haji even taking pot shots from the side now, got an angle on the top of the ridge. The nade follow-up, that should basically be E-Arena completely blown to bits. But you've got one guy, it's just Joker trying to get away. Everyone else in a horrific position.
It's a good clean up onto Intense Game, but if you're E-Arena there, now's not the time to start looting up. It's the time to get going. Right, you got to figure out your next move. Teams are moving in from your south side. You should know that from that compound that was sat underneath them. Tony K goes down to Al-Haji, who's bringing the pain in this game. In the meantime, most teams are on the outer edge. There's not a lot of area to play. You can see here, it's just barren. That battle harvest we were talking about earlier might not quite go through a lot of our teams.
Color getting the spot there on towards Solar. going. For R8, they did get the revive back up onto the Nox players. There is still 2 alive in commission. That was Marth with the heads-up maneuver to keep him up whilst the attention was turned from Alpha 7. Of course, on that E-Arena crash that we saw moments ago.
But already made it their way to this game. I think they had to. Needed something to give themselves a little bit of confidence going into the next matches after that first one where it looked brutal for them. It looked absolutely brutal. Power in the meantime, though, crops realistically. They can one shot towards Alpha 7 here. We're getting peppered.
And this is that split from Reg and Karia that aren't actually in a bad position whatsoever. You can see the bullets over from Loxy. He's got them pinned in. Marth trying to take a couple of shots from the side as well, see if he can steal away anything from this. Revo's realizing, man, like the entire team is just being cauterized. Towards one another, you are trapped in position. Marth getting the head as well, coming back to haunt them. They threw first stone. But instead, that's fragile team for a late.
Yeah, Ida getting there out there couldn't. He's managed to crawl all the way across the vote.
Kind of impressive. He's actually made it that far.
Yeah, it's a good smoke train. He then goes for a. Hoshpik goes down. As does Loxy. That's a double knock on the nade. Wild's not there to assist, and this should be a free and easy maneuver coming through. That must have been directly through those slits on the top of the shack there as well. What a nade that comes through there. Oh, yeah, I think you leave him. I think you leave him. I think if you're Wild, you're looking for a survival game. I don't even know why you bothered.
You got to know when to cut your losses on that one.
Yeah. No one to fold him.
Exactly, man. Can't be going for these gambles right now. This is not the time to do it. I mean, at least with the reset, obviously you got the just bail. The position was compromised for so long. Kenotrope inside the slight hut there. Back towards the hovercraft, tuck in, see if they could steal that one. Key still in it. Nade over the top, just into the back line. If that's on target, it could be uncomfortable, and they're pinned in at least. You got the flames in front of them, the nade over the backside. Horror getting hit by Easy as well, makes that look easy.
Up there, Kadio goes down. Just Revo's still up. Noxian Red Force in the back lines as well, taking shots. Some good nades, some good ordnance coming through from Kenotrope to keep them at bay. In the meantime, Falcons will have to deal with Gamax on this north side eventually. They played a slow game with one of the only teams that had a compound for this long, but they need to step up now. Right, versus Gamax, this is where they need to win. It would be a crying shame if they lose this engagement.
But like Fireflux have just been able to set themselves up and live their movie. Just sit pretty, consistent damage down. Obviously, you had Alpha 7 trapped, so that's just a free elim. They're able to take away that team. And they have been sharing this land for so long. I mean, Gamax has basically been sat here with 2 players for an absolute age.
I guess that they were wanting to wait for the pushes to come through, but I do think they could have held off those nades a little bit. But I think Falcons just wanted to confirm their cause on this north side. It's sense. They will have to move down now. What's the scenario? What's the situation towards power? Which I personally think is really dangerous.
Yeah, this is kind of insane. Honestly, this is a power that look really strong in this match especially. They've been playing some great PUBG Mobile. The fights they've been taking, it's heads up, it's quick decision-making, they're relying on one another. Push into this, you better be ready, Blank.
Yeah, it's nice. It's very nice. I will say, though, from Koa, the rap he made on at least his hillside, quite safe to go for, but he does not give a damn. Koa is dragging the team at times, kicking and screaming into these locations. And if it's the case that Ralph's making these calls, Koa is absolutely on the money when it comes to it. He's like, you want me to go scout that? I'll do it right now. No hesitation. And that's an initial knock coming through over towards Ragnar.
Yeah, that might have thrown you a bone. That's from R8 as well. So is R8 being able to get the shot into the back line? They could engage off of this. It'd be the opportunity to go for it. Obviously, you can get that player back up pretty quickly, though. They're giving them time to work with on this. They've got a little bit of cover for it.
Yeah, they have to move down. But I think they understand that for Power right now, Kino Troop's just been living inside that shack for a long, long time. No one's been able to get close enough to send nades in. It is very much in the open. 2 loot crates to work with, though, for Fireflux, so they get a gift from up on high.
It's tight on the elims as well. 7 for Power, 6 for both Nonshin Red Force and Fireflux. You feel like they basically just had freedom to wait for the push to come towards them. Easy set up with a bit of paranoia about Marth's angle. He knows where he is now off the back of the shots that were fired over. Just the risky run of leaving yourself exposed from the back.
Doxy's going to move, and soon. Ralph knows it. Just hold the angle. Has a rough idea now where the other players are from Fireflux, at least. Pass that information back across. We'll take this shot, and he was just looking up to the right. Oh, caught slacking. Ketch will pick up that elim. They could crash this if they wanted.
Still the move Power have been making. Do the push back over onto Marth. You steal away the bit of cover from him for now. Still 3 players alive. Getting a lot of reads onto this. Attention being drawn over towards Fireflux as well from the majority of the squads. And the Kenotrope still just being able to live on borrowed time. Just sat tucked in, dropping the smokes, keeping it uncomfortable for teams to get close.
Again, I think what's happening right now is the nades used by Falcons versus Gavax, which I think was unnecessary. They were going to go down at some point either way, as that blue pushed them out. Koa does find Ketch. What a shot. And what a timing on it. No one goes down, and they can crash it. I think they have to crash it. Ralph's going to send in first here. Dropping as much medication as possible. Complete misread on the angle. Has to be happening from Redox. Koa's left behind, and Matcap lives this one out.
Oh, man. The shots from the side from Kenotrope are huge as well to buy time, and this comes back to bite them in the bottom. I mean, you can get the res back up, get him in position. They've still got a good angle to fight with on this one. Fragments them massively. And for Power, they might be in a spot to potentially steal some of this away. You've got the scout from Vahidan at least looking for the read back over.
Just not entirely sure what the idea was. I think they'd bought themselves some time, in which case they could start looking out over towards Power. They didn't even bother to try and scout those players. Ketch is going to send out of the way, immediately ducks down, M79 in the hands, but it will be Ragnar to find those shots, just barely clipping him through the grass. I don't know why Ralph would have wanted that angle in the first place. Like, where do you go from there? I think your only option was to wrap west.
Yeah. The Fireflux was running so low, he had no shells left for that. So when he drops, couldn't fire out smoke to shroud himself. Both of them now go down. You're out of commission, leaves us with a final 3. Koa barely crawling into the zone, belly on the ground, looking for the angle towards Kenotrope. Oh, the timing!
So exposed. He can take this shack, though, and play in it. And hope he gets a second. There's the player on his right, though, and he does not know.
Ragnar with the angle. Nade over the backside, shots at the feet. So low on HP. 1 bullet and a dream is all that he'd need. The peek back up. Oh, the knock on the Ragnar fragments Power, but they've still got the manpower advantage on this one, and it's down to Falcons with just Koa. Peek over the top side, spots the head of Easy, shrouded with the smokes, but bullets coming in from 3 separate angles.
It's a nightmare scenario. Just has to guess the angles. We'll just send back. I mean, well played to Koa. Again, it seems like the player on that team that sort of has his head screwed on a little bit. I don't understand that push from Ralph. I don't know why he'd want that position from Fireplace. Again, he just try and wrap on top of Power. It's an interesting one, Jackie. But again, Falcons do get themselves a second place. I love that they pushed that position a lot of times they just won't take those opportunities when they're right in front of them. And this time at least, they picked up the leaflet.
Yeah, they bit it when it was provided. It's close they're hoping for. But I tell you what, for power, we're mopping up like Drake, some fantastic action on that one. A good early chicken dinner, looking more like power than we know.
As well to start pushing those numbers upwards. It's good play, very well played. Obviously, sweeping on that western side was really nice. His fault to struggle on the rotation. In the meantime, we're going to head right over and rotate back to the desk after this short break.
I'm currently here with Team Gamex ahead of our survival stage. I have to ask you, why do you think it was that the group stage performance was a little bit of a struggle for you boys?
Because it's like our first international tournament. Even we have like one player, it's first his tournament ever, LAN tournament. So we struggled, like we need more experience, just time. We need more time, and I think we had it for the first 2 days on the group stage.
And how have you boys been supporting him, you know, with it being his very first LAN?
It's the same game, not changing. Like we play in same game, same tactics. just different teams, like more powerful than our own, but still we can do it.
And speaking a little bit more that you had, there was a distinct lack of eliminations throughout a lot of the games. Talk to me about the game plan heading into survival stage. Can we possibly see more aggression coming through from you?
In survival stage, I don't think we're gonna play aggressive for this stage. As a team, I think we will play by the way who make us win only.
And obviously, my last question for you boys: you head into this entire event, have won at the National Egypt Championship. Do you think the play style of international teams is much different?
Exactly, too much different because national champion is way different with international because like we have 14 national and then BMSL and then PMWC, so it's strong here.
Would you say that the competition here at EWC is way more difficult than the national?
Yeah, exactly. Than ever national region.
All right, well, best of luck to you boys. I'm hoping to see more fight coming out of you, and we'll see you in the survival stage. Thanks.
Well, we have Power overwhelming here at PMWC, as Power has been able to take the first match on the grassy pastures of Erangel. Joining me is Seven, as well as Maxman. Seven's loving it. He loves that Power's been able to take this one. Talk to me about Power.
I was just happy to see them play like how when we would just tell them, good job. We were watching PMSL Mina. And the reason why I said that is because they would end up partying quite a lot. You know, I'll break it down. So maintaining one player there towards the top of the hill, that was the winning play.
All the teams in this game were pretty much in the fields like, please, sir, can we have a good position? Power, oh, this is our mountain. You're not going up here. And actually, because of that, they kind of push away E-Arena. They eliminate that team onto the western side, and they avoid Alpha 7 from claiming the high ground position pretty much this entire game. So they were very, very controlling on that little high ground position up northwest. So Power, they had a good on their second day of the group stage.
Yeah,
and the team
coming in as the only team really from the east. I thought maybe we could have a bit more of a 2-2 split going for them. The 4 in that one location seems a bit much, Max, and it did cost them some casualties.
Well, unfortunately, you got a lot of teams around you. You have Nordstrom, you have Falcons looking your way. One little hay bale is just not going to cut it, defensively speaking, and you're just going to be losing players. So it didn't work out for them. It's a fortunate good entry point, but the circle is just forcing into bad spot that you can't defend properly.
And it didn't help them that they were just focusing so much on the fight happening between them. Zero scouting, it ends up hurting them.
Let's take a look at the match report overall here for this one, as Mr. Joker here getting himself 6 eliminations. Catch though, that's actually quite impressive damage from coming in from the fields, Max, considering that you're really trying to bunker down, really not draw too much attention about yourself. So that's very well done.
They were trying to play it silent until Power got involved, because they got in that one building on the high ground position of that big plateau up north, and they were just getting naded to hell by all of Power. Like I think the Power were just out of utility after that fight. Just loot
team though that did have a potential semblance of control.
Oh no!
Do you want me to bring up Falcons?
We can talk about Falcons all day.
Should we?
Yeah, let's do it. All right, let's look at this. We don't push one by one normally, and what are Falcons doing? 2 solo drive-bys. Right next to Fireflies to instantly punish it. I mean, this is literally, you use this as an example of how not to do a push. And Falcons, unfortunately, a team that we expect to do well, are just not able to claim that control. That could have been a game-winning angle if they got it too.
It really would have been. And I think what keeps hurting this team is just losing Narvalo so early on. Once again, back-to-back games where they end up losing Narvalo, and they're kind of forced to do this kind of pushes. They're maybe not expecting it. It is a dumb push, something that we're not used to out of this team, but then you're going to have to readjust. Luckily for them, Koa did decide to stay in the back and very proactive, showing why he was the MVP for PMSL EU.
I actually think if that fight, even if they do beat Fireflux, I think the car keeps going in the blue zone. So I think it was like it's phase 8. I think they still go out even if they win it. So that was a bit of an odd one. Don't do that. So.
Yeah, fair. A difficult though finish for some of those teams in the fields. Obviously, I was to say Power though flexing down to the bottom to establish even more control. We were musing over the idea of whoever's going to win out these hill fights from that west side, should have a good opportunity here to be able to get themselves big points on the board.
Well, at one point, we even saw Alpha 7 when they were being a little bit passive there towards the edge play. We're okay. Let's see where you're going to be going, right? Are you going to be going towards the north? Are you going to be maybe fighting Power? Are you going to be waiting for a third-party situation? And no, they just end up deciding to fully send it with 2 players towards the middle. It didn't end up working out them. For a split second, Max, though, we saw the hovercraft. We're like, maybe. But it didn't end up working.
The hovercraft in the field finish is like
pretty good.
It's a gift from the gods. Okay,
Yeah.
just have, especially when it's exploded, it's just a fortress you created at that point. I actually played the game of Ultimate Royale. I had 4. we had 4 hovercrafts, and you just like make a little building, and you just
ridiculous.
Did you win?
Yeah, no.
All right, well,
Like, we got
never
never
mind. Well, we have a lot going on here, not only the PMWC, but also we have the PUBG Mobile Airdrop Carnival, and it is live this weekend from August the 1st to the 3rd. Log in, summon surprise airdrops, and collect 2025 airdrop vouchers to enter prize draws for official merchandise, smartphones, BD partner rewards, permanent in-game items, and more. Every participant is guaranteed to win. Additionally, jump in game now and vote for your favorite airdrop partner. You might even score some awesome surprise gifts from them, which is very lovely. Don't miss this year's Airdrop Carnival and unbox your lovely surprises, Mr. 7. What do you think about that?
I've done it.
You've done it? You're on? You're good to go?
I'm not going to say what I got. Max?
Ooh.
I haven't done it yet. Actually, I've just done my in-game predictions.
You've
that's
been
it.
busy. You're here at PMWC.
Yeah, true.
All
I
right.
thought you were unboxing surprises last night. Oh, man.
Shush you. It's time to get to the game here at game number 3 for the survival stage. Let's head to the casters. That's right.
Oh, man. You caught me off guard.
Oh,
Hello.
shut up, you.
All right, my bad.
Shut up, James. We're going to unbox this game, right?
Okay, he's just gone for
I'll
it.
try to give you one of these.
I didn't see that.
Oh, I'll try to do the... So, for clarification, try to give the old...
He's waved a hand at
the old-
me.
the old
He's given one of
matrix.
these.
I'll
Yeah,
give
he's
the
given
old
one of these.
matrix, yeah.
Let's do it together. Are you ready for game 3 on... Well, I was going to go for of, but you've kind of... Yeah, you've got the wrong word. And that's fine. We'll let you off. Everyone shame blank in the chat.
Was there a script?
You not follow it.
I don't have one.
Well, you should have.
I'll wing it. Much like the player.
Silly boy. Actually, it's pretty good. It's 2 wings.
It is. A double winger. That's me and you right there. On either side. Double propellers. On either arm. Yeah, we're heading over to match number 3. I am...
You tangled.
Tangled, dude.
Untangled.
I've untangled
Okay,
myself.
good.
Teams are going to have to untangle themselves from this awkward playing path, which is a straight line, but the drops are not easy. You're going to get a little bit lost in the forest of the drop.
It's quite a windy day.
It is. Getting blown all over the place. In the meantime, a lot of teams will have to send far north here, or as north as they can get on this particular planet. It will change. It drops up a little bit. I'm sort of expecting Kino Trope to maybe run hot drop over towards, but they're going to head down towards Ferry Pier, which I think is, yeah, that's open, so that's fine. They could take that. It's your turn now.
Oh, it seems like you want to do all the talking.
Hey.
Just wondered if you keep going.
No.
So a little back and forth here. We're trying out a stand-up comedy routine. Let's know if that landed. I'll just do normal intro.
I tried to make it very clear.
Yeah.
Let's be honest with myself.
Well, that's fair.
A little
the gameplay, and that's what we're here for, Blank. Now you talk.
Can I speak now?
Now you talk.
My turn. Woo! Back on the mic again. My turn.
A woo!
It's amazing.
Give us some gravitas.
I'm quite gravitas.
Yeah.
Woo!
There you go.
Was like that? Was that good?
Surely that's got everyone hyped up, right?
Yeah, I'm hyped.
Yeah.
I've hyped myself up.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm glad. You'd need to.
Look at this. You know, we got a little bit of introspection. You got to hype yourself up, get yourself into it. This is the advice I would give to all these teams.
Ironically, that actually is a pretty good summary of the sort of mindset you need to be going into. Halfway point of the day, right? You've got to try and get those jitters out of you, forget about what's happened in some of the games for the rough starts for a few teams, try and keep that momentum building. For a few of our squads, they certainly have been able to pinpoint that momentum. The power here, looks like we're thrown into an opening bout, though, instantly versus Influence Rage.
And the Rage of Easy, the last day of group, certainly influenced them here. They've turned into some absolute monstrous opponents. Currently second place. Oh, that is a beautiful jump.
Hell of a jump on that.
Look how serious he looked as well.
Oh yeah, you've got to be focused up. This is horse gameplay. That's what we're bringing to you live.
Through the fields of Erangel. Straight hoofing it.
A glorious gallop. The Stallion. Power Gaming.
Ragnar in the front lines, charging back to his team to assist.
That is not a trot. It is an all-out sprint for domination.
He's coming.
He stopped.
Oh, he's too late.
Yeah. He needed to be a bit quicker on the horse rotate. It's not really worked. Influence Rage are able to get one.
There were some shots from sidelines coming through. It's all down. Just got the puppy up upside. Oh, he takes a disgusting tag as he drops.
Yeah, indeed. Mac 10 Madness up close. SMG slaps him upside the head. Ragnar from the top side, though. He'll start to show what he's made of. Bullets down range. Rage once again. Lil Boy got to make the move. Drop the smoke, see if he can get his teammate up. Nade from Easy. Ooh, only one, though.
We know that he's a bad boy when it comes to it. Let's see if he can hit this one. It will be very influential. Goes through and bounces. Easy. The M16. Ragnar's just sending it, dude.
He's going in. Close on the doorway, ready for it.
He was late to the party. Everyone's already left, but he's determined to keep the music pumping.
He just dives into action. 17 bullets in the clip. SMG. There's the secondary if he needs it. Pull out the UMP. Yeah, you know me. Ragnar about to make some crime scenes on the dive by. Lil Boy down and out. Not the big man in this situation, but the turnaround for Ragnar. Feel his wrath.
Pulls out the 4 bullet. That's all he needs. Nade goes through. Ragnar dives out the way, but somehow on the stairs still takes the tag. Diego will find one. You're in a 1-1 between these teams and another team. It is intense game.
As everyone starts to cheer Ragnar's name, intense game, drop the shush, the silence over the fight in the compound. Diego tucked in, trying to play on the back foot Easy. About to be hit with a heavy nade up close and personal, just a disc to provide cover.
Glenn is saying Molotov in. Have to climb this one or just fully take the brunt. Walks out the way. Silence, who will silence the party here. The boombox thrown out the window. Diego in a tough scenario now. For Influence Rage, Power will take the #1 spot, but for how long? Only 1 point ahead of Fire Flux, but they have had a good run today so far.
For Diego, you are sweating bullets right now. Off-angle peek on the side, couple shots connect, but Silence does not give a damn. Spams the shots into the loot crate, adds insult to injury. An intense game, make out with the cleanup crew plays on the fight from Influence Rage and Power.
Hanso for 3 for 3. Kind of a wild step down, by the way. I'm looking at it. 11 points. That drops down to 9 in 7th. We're into single digits all the way through to 16th. AX with a big fat goose egg.
Gamak's got a bail with his fajita on the wheel, having a bite taken out. The squad was looking for the setup with the trace. Able to limp out of there with his lives behind the steering wheel.
We're in pretty central. This is actually one of the more fair circles we've seen in quite a while here, Taki. Kaya leaving Poshpik behind over towards Rozok just in case it does back up that way. And for Regnum Kaya currently in 9th place with just the 8 points. It's not been an ideal result, but heading back up over towards Rozok. This is a good opportunity for them. Team that we put a lot of potential in. Potentially this is the game to do it. We'll have Horror Esports wrapping up on that north side. Does Loxy go down here? Because they are just rocking straight up towards him. And it will be Wild to take the first. And that's the Kino trope of all teams.
Regan Kari as well, taking hefty blows here. When you're down to 2 players, it's an awkward firefight between them. You're getting crashed on from either side with Kinotrope and AX diving into action off the back of the punch. Henry firing out bullets with the Scar, ripping people to pieces. Devotee locking down the wide sight lines up front as well.
2 points accrued. That 0 pointer completely gone. Not the case no more. No way you're Molotov. Fucking silence in the corner. Put on for barbecue. Unnecessary, but tasty. They'll take that point.
Ozzy Sands bar open soon. Pre-order your tickets for the Grand.
We got turkey on the menu. Kinotrope, 2 players up. Falcons off in the distance there. I think for Regnum Kaya, if I'm looking at it objectively, I think what happened there is that they've had a couple of games in the past. Ooh, nice nade, Devotee. A couple of games in the past where they've left Rozok. It's come back to bite them later on. So they tried to get this 2-2 split. But when you get the surf shift this way, there is going to be a lot of teams flowing through this area, right? They want to play the 2 rows. They want to play the warehouses. I think it was a dangerous split, and they had to make a quick decision of whether they want to stay on Rozok or they want to regroup here. Player left remaining. 1 Molotov remaining. We know that he can be nasty with it. It's gone.
Made for no. Wow. Meaty damage onto both. Able to withstand the shrapnel and at least stay alive for now. Arian setting up on the sideline behind the rock as well, trying to get a read onto Ozzy-san.
This is getting awkward now. Falcons do peek their heads out of Pachinki as this one moves further away. Loot drop coming through. We take a look at the map and where we're heading next. This has been very central. Not so much anymore. Heads above towards Rozok and Regnum Kaya. Oh, fuming, dude. Absolutely fuming. This has happened so many times to them throughout their tournament history this year. Oh, man, I actually feel bad for them on that one.
Shot back over from speed. Well, onto Firefly. Day of it. It's a catching a bullet. Not in the manner that you would want to.
Hey, this is nice. Falcons able to find themselves a spot. Mafioso, perfect parking. That's going to lock down the doorway. Primed.
Reinventing the meaning of parallel parking on that one.
Vertical.
Oh, yeah. Straight up. You climb, and that's what they're going to want.
Ozzy's in there. Let's go. This too hard. And I don't think that the Falcons quite have a solution for it yet. I'd like to see how they play it out this game, because they have a huge amount of potential from this position. Nice high ground to work with, nice vision, claiming 2 buildings as well, and able to play off the back of one another with nades from that top side. If it continues to zone in on that area, you've got a good chance at that game. Alpha 7 looking for more points on this one. You're currently in the top 8, but they want to secure it a little bit more.
Get the little establishing shot as well, top-down POV, giving you an understanding of just how close these squads are to one another.
Ooh, yawn. Yeah, replay on this one. It was cinematic. It was cinematic.
Nearly made it through the window.
Did. Squeezed it through. Like a TARDIS. The window, that is. Bigger than you think.
Yeah.
It's bigger on the inside.
On the inside.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's smaller on the inside, it'd be a bit of a shame.
It'd be weird, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I went to my TARDIS. It's a closet.
Yeah. Where's all the space?
This is a high-tech machinery.
Budget cuts. We couldn't have all space on the inside.
That would be a weird parallel effect. I like it. My shots out the window for Yangon. Players on the stage just putting a huge amount of work in. There is some games where Yangon's able to get like quite a few points. Usually they do limp towards those final circles though. This is hella awkward for Falcons as we send over towards that eastern side. Now Gamax might have played a blinder on this one accidentally. Obviously you don't know where the circle's going to go, but that's actually a really nice place to play and gives you a huge amount of control. Now Falcons is the back of the queue. Fantastic compound a minute ago, not so much anymore. Horror's quite glad, despite being one of the first to this location, they didn't fully commit. And they didn't have to. They had the option to play on this eastern side, and they'll get a lot of benefit off the back of that.
Oh, gets worse for Ekmakari as well, of course. Been trapped as just a duo for so long. Alpha 7 able to get the sight lines over, so we'll commit onto that with Toshpik being knocked down on his last legs. Loxy not really in a spot to quickly make dash to grab him just yet. Nades over the top. Got the smokes on the bottom of the ground of lead semblance of cover here.
For a team that starts in Rostock, they're pretty rubbish at it. Thoughts?
Just going to let that one ruminate, really. Just thought I'd let that air for a bit.
I don't think that they're bad at it. I think it's just indecision, dude.
Sorry, are you moving further away? Is that backtracking?
I am backpedaling. Yeah, I am backpedaling. No, I think that it's not a case they're bad at it. It's indecision. If I'm being real, it's indecision.
Fair enough. I think that's also what we have seen a couple of times already, where it feels like the split on the instant decisions where they need to go for something that hasn't really been there, especially today, where it's felt almost like the pressure of the situation has been getting to them more.
Yeah, it's like we should move. Like we can't just sit in our drop spot and like you get on with almost this hyperactivity. We've got to take two swings. Surely it's not back to Rozok again. But no, unfortunately. I think that is the difficulty for a team that starts in Rozok, is that you kind of want to make some kind of a play early. You don't want to just sit around forever. Cole's already found the 2 elims though, which is nice. Settling Falcons in a firm 3rd spot on the tables. I genuinely do think that those games that they've just come off the back were very important. You put it when you're saying they're a little funny, because when Falcons start playing like that, it's like we just need these points. We can play it cool. You don't need a fantastic hit.
Not by running the risk. Yeah, we're seeing it actually work for them. So a bit of a split, 1-3 on them, having to try and link back up. It's Volt that's a key piece of this team as well.
Yeah. One thing I really do like about AX is that whenever you look at the player cams, they're always speaking to one another. Always commenting.
Yeah.
They're not the best team in this lobby. I mean, that is clear, right? Yeah. But they are giving them. Comes back to Rozok. Still quite unhappy with this one. We've had hard shift. Man, if Regnum Kai just sat still at 4 players as well, and I think it's a good position to play. You don't have to worry about a lot of the happening on that north side. You can sit pretty down towards the
It's been a little bit too slow for me from what I've seen.
Yeah.
And it worries me, really, especially in these kind of lobbies now.
Not feeling very Galactico. Not very Hibbos. I don't encompass everywhere. Comes the angle. It's too little too late, though. Everything's crazy. We're going with this same crash. Oh, boy. Ooh, a bit off target.
Yeah, split. That was a delivery. And Alpha 7 will take it as well. Squash Planet instantly. So that's fine. They can from it.
I like that, though. From straight after that concludes, stopping teams from wanting to peek in. Or, in fact, even inviting some teams, the mafiosos on that angle the entire time. Arthur moves up. Somehow finds off with that nade. I think he must have just been slight angle. They find are away with it.
That's the ricochet made. The geometry there of the building isn't fragmented players. R8. And Damar really just trapped on the push up here.
Curious what this play from Sleepy is. I think he's just trying to identify some a little bit of information. R8 goes down. Again, it's been a rough spree for R8 today. APK from Nongshim Red Force, who did their way up, and they have picked their moment quite nicely, and in comes more and more nades, but it is Horror picking up a couple of these shots from a hell of a distance.
Substantially away, work. It's interesting. Force as much as they haven't really been on the forefront of the observing in this game. It's looking at steal away points a little bit here and there with some of the rotates we've seen. This is one where they line up, top heavy angle for Doxy, unloads the magazine, detonates his way for Tizzy, able to compose himself and find that one onto Fajita.
It's quick. Chief from Nongshim Red Force is very quick. And should rack themselves up to 6 elims on this one. Again, they started off really strong on their day 3. All right, last day of the group stage. And it was the way that Max put it right, they were slipping.
Yeah.
And it's the best way to put it, they were slipping. Pressure mounted a little bit too much for them. Keep up the gas at the end of the day. They've gone away from it. I think they looked very upset with themselves as well on day 3. You could only feel for them.
I mean, it felt like they did at least kind of unpack the bag with it. So you know, it was a rough game. They were able to reset. You didn't carry those emotions on.
Dude, there was a big solve in that last day for them.
Yeah.
Right? There was a big solve on their gameplay, how they want to work these things out. And I like that. I did like that from figure out their gameplay. I'm going to bring that into survival stage. So it wasn't like they didn't gain anything from that day 3. Tizzy finding yet another with Volt on a long angle from Mansion.
baited out for the fight, and it's a sideline shot coming back in from Sky.
He has been influential on the map.
Yeah.
Like some really good shots from the M4. To honest with you, that early rotate out from Sleepy was quite nice. They got a lot of information off the back of that. They knew which angles to watch. They didn't have to move out from the eastern side of Roslock, but they do it anyway just to pick up some free elims and clear out the eastern side. That's their big goal there. They can start to move the issue over toward west.
This is a classic fight. Feels like AX and Red Force have been thrown into a hell in a cell. Teams have been scrapping out the entire tournament, group stage, here the survival stage. They're back on this one, the top, them pin position. Tizzy with the nade back over. Binny.
Nade after nade. That looks like a better air burst in my opinion, but Cyrax does take a lot of the damage. Thunder strike from the there. Horror moves up over towards Fireflux. They find Solus as a solo in one of the buildings. Unresable right now. It's hard to get yourself across two, and he should just bleed out on this one.
Close call. Is Nate. You've got to tuck him with a shot. Good tackle. Sizzy quite low. P90 up. Henry inside of the smoke with the shotty.
Find one another. Function Red Force. Very much cut down. Domination from Henry's side of the ring. Another good nade coming through from Horror. They are working the angle.
Oh, a prime nade from Zizzy. Right on target. Fragments the setup from AX. Henry has to make a hero maneuver on this one. Wraps up close. Molly over the top. Smoke up front to provide some sort of cover for his teammate. But Tizzy peeks in from the top. Struggling to get the quick position off and switch to the right gun for the job. Couldn't handle it. Sucks in the back line. But he go both ways. Not much vision to work off on this.
All the way from that north side, they left one player behind. Reset out Red Force third part. This is way more aggressive from the Falcons. They start to flap their wings a little bit.
Turning up the tempo, and it's what you want to see. We're saying they've been playing smart, passive games, looking for placements. But mixing in a good score on eliminations as well would be huge for their momentum. The bonnet hits the face of Tizzy, and they look to end the opportunity.
Roll him down on the Reaver.
But they do handle it. Koa spots that one with a UMP, and you stop nonching Red Force that were building a huge elimination game. 10 already. They're taken out of commitment. Second closest, of course, is now Falcons with 7.
I mean, this is great, though, for the Falcons, because now they have control over towards the south side. They also have Redux still holding that building on the northwest side. He holds his own. It's the first time we've seen a solo Falcon being able to do that. And that's really cool, because now they have a lot of this on the map here. Needs be, they can wrap back around again. It's going to be a little bit awkward versus Arena, but it is possible. So they have two corners of the map, so they can confirm either side. The work to happen here if it comes up.
The Arena and Alpha 7 as well, obviously in position for so long here down towards the compounds. A lot of nades being primed here.
They're ready for a crash, that's why. They know E-Arena has to come across. They've heard the fighting on the south side as well. They're just priming them. That's a terrifying sight, by the way. 4 dudes, pin pulled. Not a party I'm looking to get involved with.
The mortar strike of Alpha 7 ready if you come running up towards the compound. Of course, you've got that 2-2 split as well. Toxic and Loxy inside of the buildings. Cover to work with. Shots into the back line. Horror moving up. Fireflux starting to reposition as well. That's the duo that's left alive here. They've had a great day of it so far.
Some good smokes from Falcons, but there is a lot of sidelines to contend with. Koa's up first and will get knocked. Grevo's got 5 nades, so plenty here. The send over the top side. I think the Falcons are going to find this tough, honestly. Stop short. That's a good stop as well. They know the smokes haven't dissipated yet. But to stop short. There is a shot that goes through there as the arena sees that Alpha 7 is distracted.
Oh, here's the problem though. It's not just nades from Alpha 7. Now they're coming in from Aura as well. Navallo is eating a ton of damage. Ralph's forced to push further up to actually get himself into cover to play with. So both barrels being given here.
7 losing Revo. Squash just gets back up again. Tony K drops a nade, but it's long. They're in the kitchen and needs to cook this nade to perfection. Ralph finding Revo, steals that one away, but it's Toshpik to take him out. It's all down to Redox. 6 teams, last circle.
Korea firing off the shots in close range. Holds back E-Arena. Only Mormon remains. They split on the push-up, hoping they could get in before the pick-me-up onto Squash. Didn't go that way. Comes back to haunt them.
Valo's still up, actually. Didn't even realize it. And he's going to try and get placed here. There's potential for it as well as everyone starts to get cut out on that northern side. Now Valo walking up. This is a bold maneuver. Surprised he's even getting in here. Finds one off the back of it. Goes down. Mormon still sending nades in.
Mormon on the walk up. In pulled for the nade.
Oh.
Round the corner. Squash gets flattened. Mormon makes the play. Potential the follow-up as well. Close. Huge kill. That is a beautiful elimp to put them back into a position. He can get Squash back up.
Wait a minute. Regnum Kaya still going strong with Loxy. Hitting these shots here. It might not be the end of the world after all. Carrillo has to send a nade over. It's not perfect, but now he's got to make the cross.
See. Taking opportunities where they're presented. Regnan Karia being able to play this one picture perfect with the opportunities that have been presented by other to his name as he pops up. Silences Loxy. There's the shot back over. And that's the way it goes.
Horror played that game incredibly well. From the early rotate into the eastern side, the push out slightly further over towards Gamax, spotting all the commotion over towards Nongshim Red Force and cutting away at their opposition on the eastern edge, but shout out to Loxy. I did not think the Regnum Gaia would survive that long. And you do want Loxy as your final player on that team when it comes to those clutch moments.
Heads up calls. Reading it so well as well. Opportunity. Everyone's taken away from them. Like you said, expectations. It was a brutal beginning for them. But they put it together. They piece away some points at the very least.
For Alpha 7, what a tough task they had there versus E-Arena. Falcons on one side. Not an easy maneuver to make happen. Carrillo does survive it all. Could have been pretty sick if Narvalo hit that shot, but looks a lot better from the Falcons.
It certainly does. They're building. The wings have been spread, but the action is intense. So join us for more after the break.
New Pulsar Legionnaire available now. First outfit with special head animations and voice lines. The Pulsar Legionnaire set comes with its own super cute voice lines that can be toggled on or off.
What happened? Bye, friend. Hello, Earth. I'm here.
It also features the upgradable Hyperion ship DSR and Jet Reaver glider with special animations. Experience parachuting like never before. That's not all. Even more rewards await. Event period July 25th, 2025 through August 26th, 2025. What are you waiting for? Get the new guild set now.
Required for in here as we have got them win game number 3 on the board. Brilliant stuff by them. Joining me, Neptura, as well as Seven, to talk about this victory from them. Neptura, this was all them sweeping through Rozhok, looking fantastic.
As usual, as I would expect from a team of this caliber. Hora, I have always talked about Hora. I like them a lot. I like how they play. They played it basically how I would normally expect them to. They had a really good compound, as we were talking about. We saw them sweep that edge and just wait until the perfect time to strike. Once that strike was there, they went for it.
And what I really enjoyed even before that, it was a 2-2 split that they were holding towards the east of the circle. They had an opportunity to actually third-party a fight. And I think it was Noncham Ramforce versus Gamax. They decided not to do that and just press their games out. It worked out wonders for them, 19 points. And if we keep going down the list, I mean, it's good to see some of these names here at the top, Kyle. You got Alpha 7 with 13 points and Team Falcon as well there with 12.
They did something. No, I mean, of course, it's very
They did, though. It's talking about teams that did something. Is that AXTMG? 5 points, they got points.
Yes!
Woo!
The first 2 games, they got nothing. So we were hoping for a little bit of a step up from them, of course, here. And this is definitely a bit of a step up here. Sure.
It is. I actually really liked as well, right? I split thing, but they didn't.
Whole area. I really enjoy what the third party that they ended up doing between Regnum, Karya, and Kino. They're not going to see out of a team that's now experiencing a global event once again.
All right. Are we going to talk about Falcons again? The conditions were amazing initially, I want to say. What do you think?
I mean, this right here, I felt like, and you kind of said it too, you said that this might have been the rotation of the tournament so far. I would definitely have to agree with that. I love that they did a 3-1 split too. They adjusted a little bit of what they were able to do in the last game, except this time they actually sent more players that could actually eliminate the rest of the squad.
great third party, but even before that, I what they did towards the end of round because they were controlling everything, letting anything close by.
And what I'm really learning from those as well is that they're
the execution there towards the end, they did have a great rotation, but when it came down to it, they were just sending one player by one. They sending co-op do something, and then they just stopped in an area that you were just going to get grenaded. Max was calling it out too. I got a chance to see it. At that point, just go for a full crash.
I mean, you've left one north, right? I get why they might want to do something like this, not only hunting down those Limb Snap turret, but also negating the problem in Rozhok finish that is the road. Because that's such a huge problem for these teams.
Yeah, it is a huge problem. And I really actually like the one. Those three players on the south rode down towards A7. They should have maybe gone onto the other side so they could do a pincer move with Redux on the north. And it just didn't work out that way, so it was a 1v1, 1-by-1.
Well, let's head down to Barney now as he is ready with Falcons to see what they think after some of these games.
I've got Koa from Team Falcons joining me here. And I tell you what, the consistency seems like it's back, Koa, because you've had 3 matches so far. All 3 have been in the top 5, 2 second places as well. What changed from the group stage to now in the survival stage? Because you guys, it feels like you're back.
Yeah, so we had the meetings, we talked about our mistakes. And
Effective. You know what, Koa? I want to talk about you. The kills and what's happening now. So coming into the next 3 matches, are you guys just going to keep the strategies the same? Because it seems like it's working.
Yeah, we're going to keep all the same.
Koa, I like interviewing you, man. You're your point. I love it. Back to you.
From Riyadh, Saudi Arabia for PUBG Mobile World Cup. We can take a look at a moment. They've really been a focal point here so far, Seven. Kind of understandably in some moments.
I mean, let's even rewind it a little bit more. You got Alpha 7 to take control of this area, and I feel like for them, that was able to clutch about so many points. And then you got Young Gun trying to send it. Alpha 7 was ready, just flying everywhere.
Yeah, to try and come in behind that and deal with what on earth it's got game. They found themselves in a bit of the nitty-gritty and trying to get them. They've got themselves some points on.
They're almost there. They're almost where I want them to be, because you saw them come in against who was it? Gamex and R8. They came in, had a really nice third party, really nice push onto Gamex, really good. Then they kind of split apart when they were trying to fight against AX Team AG. So for me, they're almost there, but we look over the rankings and actually
look at the 8th place Regnum Karya. With this matches too, I mean, we're going to have some gaps here and there, but those teams can definitely close it up with just one match. So I'm pretty sure we'll end up going there towards the page. Something that I actually wanted to touch with Nangshim, enjoy that 3-1 split that they were doing earlier on. They did a player kind of just holding it down with an arm, just there and everything. A lot third part that you were talking about now. I wish they would have went north. They wouldn't have.
Yeah, we did. I really liked how they played the north side, full control of the north side. If the zone had gone their way, they probably would have won, but they didn't. And they actually, instead of playing that same position that you were just talking about, Seven, they went ahead and crashed the compound, which seemed like just to stop any momentum they had built over the course of the game.
It was a concern. I mean, hitting that compound when it's not even the focal point of the circle as well, Seven, seems a little bit dubious, odd, a little bit.
It just comes down to experience from some of these teams. I feel like the proactiveness of Team Falcons might have scared them off a little bit more. But for them, I mean, if that's what you're gonna go now for them, maybe they'll be able to fix it up going to the next games.
That said, always difficult in an urban ending like that, of course. The road obviously causes a big problem. You're seeing how reluctant teams are to try and move from building to building. And that was what was really impressive about Horror, the actual sweep from building to building in this game here, Neptura.
Yeah, it was. And again, you not only have the road in the middle, you actually have that road in between their compound and the rest of Rosov as well. So that's very open. I think Regnum Karya had those buildings on the other side. So full sweep the way Horror did. If you stop at any point, it's game over.
All right, well, thank you very much, guys. Time to head over to the stage once again as the lovely Veracity and Mr. Barney Banks are ready to go as well.
To the Gadia East, where we are all of the highlights that we've had so far in day one. And of course, day one, we kick things off into a final showdown, which of course, some points along with it, 17 in total. But E-Arena managed to secure 9 eliminations. So an honorable mention goes to them. Are you still up there?
Barney, if these players can make it through survival stage, I can too. I've had the best view in the house right now, Barney. And let me tell you right now, match 2 was proof of the fact that the Falcons were able to spend their day off in the most fabulous fashion ever, Barney. Yeah, don't worry about that. I've been snacking away. The Falcons, they've been sharpening their talents. At least they say things. And not only that, they're whipping away at their wings. Our final fight, though, it saw Power Esports taking down the lone survivor representing the Falcons, and that was Koa, marking the 3rd chicken dinner right here at this event for Power Esports.
Going into map number 3, Nongshim Red Force kicked things off extremely strong with 10 eliminations by stage 7 of that particular map. But in the end, it was Horror Esports that managed to clinch that victory and claim that chicken dinner for their own as well. So that's nice. A good amount of points for Horror Esports for us to see.
You know what, Barney? Enough chit-chat from us. I want to go ahead and dive into match number 4, baby. Let's do this.
She was up there on a pill, a whole bunch of candy. She was vegging out, but what else are you going to do when you're stuck on an island? Speaking of which, we're going into Erangel for map number 4, PMWC. It's been exciting today, truly, and the reason why his teams that didn't necessarily perform well during the group stage are really showing up in the survival stage. We've already witnessed Fire Flux, right? Get a victory. Was their first winner chicken dinner tournament that includes their group performance Power 3 and doing it in sensational fashion, which puts the pressure, John, on so many other wonderful teams. Falcons, Alpha 7, right? Those teams looking to make it up to the top.
Absolutely. There is this really interesting dynamic unfolds, right? When you take teams out of the lobby, it creates this vacuum, and that pulls in these teams from beneath them. It pushes them towards the top and creates a lot of turbulence. When you start to add those factors all together, it can get a little bit spot. Looking at half the lobby going through to the finals at the end of these 2 days of the survival stage, and because of that, we're expecting the points boundary to be somewhere around that 70-point mark, and teams are starting to have achieved half of that already, and a lot of the teams towards the top actually already pushing over 30.
That's it. Over 30 is big, especially when you start to go down towards the bottom. We take a look at top 8, currently 8th place, Regnum Karya, sitting with 16 points around there anyways. They're going to have to definitely step it up. They're on the bubble, at least at the moment. It's still early goings. 3 more games today, 6 more tomorrow. tomorrow to determine our top 8 and, of course, our bottom 8. In a tense game, Ray. Well, the list goes on. Be a little bit. Last we've seen some greats a little bit of the military zones.
That key crusher is hungry, and we will be heading in to Erangel once more. All 64 of our players locked and hopefully loaded into the plane from Lipovka over towards the southwest side, over towards Quarry. Plane path fairly chilled out right now. Lovely little dog decal there on the back wing of the plane. He's having a great time. Not so much for our players on the inside, though.
Flying high, flying high. Okay, so plane path looks pretty good, pretty standard. Everybody who wants to go wherever they want to go pretty much has free reign to do so. Georgia Pool obviously going to see quite a bit of activity up there with Alpha 7 and Co. America's regions loving that location. For the rest, though, military spicy. I'm hoping I'm right, but I hope I just cast a curse.
It's a bones-based feeling here.
I'm feeling it.
And we're going purely off the vibe.
That's it.
That's exactly what we're here for. That's the only way to go.
You said the word.
Purely, yeah, and well, had to fill out that bingo card. Heading on out to the northwest side, I reckon. Zaki circles. That's my bones-based vibes play.
Okay, I wouldn't mind Zarki. I think Zarki's great. Again, a couple of teams that notably love to go out there. Actually, speaking of which, let's talk about it. Alpha 7 typically goes towards Zarki. Georgia Pool, Lipovka is where they decide to go this time around. And, well, we don't get either, but we do get right in the middle of what we were predicting. I'm still happy with this, and it's going to benefit quite a few other rosters. For example, E-Arena, Kinotrope going to be feeling quite happy. Power, who's had a standout day, currently sitting in third place, 31 points. The same in game number 4. They'll be central at the moment, a bit spread out, but plenty of time to get together. For Yangon Galactica, they are going down to goals. Now, for them, though, maybe a potential goings, and I'm not seeing any hot drops at the moment.
No, there aren't going to be too many right now. The plane path cutting straight through the middle allows a lot of access to places. I mean, obviously, the Alpha 7 relocation to Lipovka, going to that backup drop, it really just opens things up. If they'd have stuck to their guns and tried to go to North George, there would have been a hot drop on some of those vehicles out the west side. So a reasonable adjustment there. Honor and Influence Rage, probably the closest by to one another right now, up towards Yasnaya. But it looks like they're just sort of keeping each other at arm's distance. They don't want to get too aggy with it. And I think rightly so. You certainly, when you have a numbers advantage, don't want to push too hard. And Influence Rage as well, just looking to keep things calm, especially down in that 12th place. They want to get out of this early drop into those later game rotations.
Falcons also pretty much dead center. They have nobody around them, at least at the moment. They've had a stellar day. We talked about it throughout the group stage. Falcons, bit of an underperformance to see Team Falcons representing in the final. They already surpassed the halfway point. They still have a little bit more work, but let's face it, Falcons, if they can perform 3 games over, they can absolutely qualify stuff of day 1.
I think that's very encouraging about the Falcons' performance right now. That may of what I've seen from them today is that there have been good rotations, good decisions being made. Yes. Mechanical execution of them has been subpar. Specifically, I think it's safe to say Ralph has had a couple of missteps. That's getting a little bit too bothered scouting, or maybe less of a mechanical issue. I do think that there are still a few wobbles here and there, and if they go to the finals, when you bring back those top 8 teams?
Yeah, and that's a question, right? And that's a question. Is just top 8. And well, speaking of one of those teams who's close to the bubble is Alpha 7 on your screen, a team that obviously is coming in with squash this time around, but regardless, the returning champions, the heroes of the Americas region who play so incredibly well. I would be, again, themselves during the Smash Point group or finals just coming up next week. But for Alpha 7, they're still relatively healthy. I do feel like they have gotten punished at multiple moments, but for now, I'm not too worried about them. I think they're going to be just fine. Now, for other teams from the Americas region, Influence, Rage, and Tense Game, I do start to get a bit worried. I don't think they are performing well. And you go back to Influence, Rage during the group play, specifically their performance during day 1 group play for them, I felt they were coming in hot. I thought they looked great, but survival stage, nothing like their group play performance.
No, I mean, it does really change the dynamic, as I mentioned before, right? When you are taking out those top 8 teams in every single match, no matter which groups we're in, you're expecting there to be about 5, maybe 6 of those teams in the top 8 to be playing in the lobby, and removing those teams has really changed the dynamics here, and teams have taken advantage of that. And like you were highlighting there, you have to.
That's it. But I will say Team Vision also another roster that surprised me being so far down. If you go back to group play, they were performing. No, but Vision still a team that is struggling. Ragnum Karya now in a fight against AXTMG and Silas, a guy who, again, history this tournament would complete the AXTMG. The struggles live on.
I think Reckon and Kaya are looking weak this tournament in a way that couldn't be said, I think, for Alpha 7 or Falcon.
Sure.
They haven't really been in these positions to really take too much. They earned a couple of points on a few of the days, but obviously here in the Savages, and I'm hoping that they can stand up. Like you said, with Silas adding that third would be the first player in history to do so. But at the moment, they need to piece it back together, especially coming off a weak season back in Europe. These guys qualify only here because of that earlier performance.